This episode is sponsored by Liquid IV. Guys, let me tell you, you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code The Slob on the Pod at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code The Slob on the Pod at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com with promo code The Slob on the Pod. Guys, let me tell you, first off, thank you, Liquid IV. They've sent me some things. All I have left are these energy multipliers, which I love. Obviously, they're already open, but I use these before work or even after work. Whenever I get off work and I want to take a nap or something, but I want to keep my day going, go on a run, play with the dogs, whatever. I drink one of those. They also have sent me the liquid multipliers. They have so many other products on here. Actually, they just sent me a link so I can pick more products they could send me. Let me see. We have, obviously we have the lemon lime, which is my favorite. They have the watermelon. They have pina colada, which is another one of my favorite that I just tried for the first time. They also have something I'm going to order actually is the sleep multiplier. It's blueberry. It's blueberry lavender. It helps with, at night after you've taken all the liquid IV, after you've hydrated yourself, you want to get some good night's sleep. You have the sleep multiplier. They have strawberry. They have watermelon. They have so many options. You guys have to check them out. I love them. I had to email the guy because I wasn't too sure if I could say this, but he gave me the green light, gave me the okay. Shout out to Bob. I'm not gonna say his name. Shout out to this dude. But he said that I could use. I use them. Everyone uses them, I'm pretty sure. A lot of people use them for this reason. After a long night of drinking, if you have a hangover, these are perfect. I'm telling you, these are the perfect things to drink after the next day, after a hangover. Literally just pop one in and they bring you back to life. And if you want to rally, go, day 2, back to back, drink some more, go for it. I don't know, but drink responsibly, everybody. But I love these things. Actually, the first time I ever heard about these was because I had a hangover, and one of my buddies was like, hey, I got this thing that's great for hangovers. He called it a hangover remedy, but little did I know it was liquid IV. But you guys got to check these things out. Order them. Use my code. Use the Slob on the Pod is the promo code. That's 24% off anything. When you use the code, Liquid IV is on a mission to change the world. Liquid IV has donated over 20 million servings globally. One stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates faster and more efficiently than water alone, so that's always good. When I'm at work, I'm just constantly chugging just plain water, and it's good for you, I'm not gonna lie, but when you add one of these in, it just kind of ups it, You drink one water bottle compared to just one liquid, or you drink, 4 or 5 water bottles compared to one stick in one water bottle. Boom, you're already hydrated. You're already 5 water bottles ahead of the game. It contains 5 essential vitamins. I gotta mention this: B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. What makes Liquid IV so effective? Let me tell you, the science of cellular transport technology, CTT, designed to enhance the rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into the bloodstream. So once again, thank you guys. Thank you, Liquid IV. Please, I'm telling you, you'll help me, you'll help Liquid IV, and you will help yourself. If you go to liquidiv.com, you get 25% off plus free shipping when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code The Slob on the Pod. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code The Slob on the Pod. Stay hydrated, my friends. This episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped, everybody. Manscaped. Manscaped works for men and women. If you haven't heard already, it is Smooth Sack Summer. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're scaped from pubes to bum. That's right, this is the summer to keep your balls cool while still looking hot with Manscaped. The leader in below the belt grooming is making sure we all have a ball this summer by giving our pants partners everything they need to stay fresh. Dive headfirst into Smooth Sack Summer by going to manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping with my code SLOB20. That's SLOB20 for 20% off plus free shipping. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which I have right here. This bad boy. Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. I got that in here too, but I'm currently using it, so sorry. The Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. This bad boy. Smells so good. And yes, by the way, Very excited. They just released their new line of underwear with, before they had just the plain black ones. Now they have some designs. They sent me about 3 boxes of these bad boys, but I got one right here. You got this beautiful package. Look at this, look at this. It's got the nice golden ball design. Let's see, let's open one up. I haven't opened them up yet. I've been waiting for a moment like this. So let's see what they all about. I love that brand new smell of underwear. Oh man, look at these. Anything that has gold in it is just top notch. Man, if I was in the UFC, I would just wear Manscaped underwear because these look dope as shit. They're stretchy, and they breathe, which is awesome. I love these things, by the way. Also, best part, they have the little ball. You can separate your penis from your ball sack, and they have a little ball sack, if you want to put it that way. We got other ones right here. What are these ones? These ones are, these ones are nice little, if you look closely, they got a little design on them. I don't know if you can see that. Once again, with the gold, I love it. Man, I just love gold everything, We got one more pair. What is this? Ooh, almost open it. Yeah. The Boxers 2.0. That's what we call them. I can't wait for the 3.0, the 4.0, and the 5.0, and the 6.0. Once again, the plain black. Love it too. Goes with every outfit. And thank you, Manscaped, for these, by the way, because I've been running out of underwear, and you guys just sent me more. So no, I don't got to do laundry. I don't got to wear the same underwear twice or 3 times. I got a brand new clean pair, and I can flip them inside out if I have to and wear them twice in one day. Who knows? Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? The trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof too. Beach, lake, or shower, this razor will devour even the strongest pubes. Oh man, I'm out of breath over this one. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts of the Performance Packet 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers, which I just showed you, the Shed Travel Bag that will bring you comfort to a whole nother level. Once again, you guys get 20% off plus free shipping with the code get 20% off plus free shipping with the code slob20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code slob20 at manscaped.com. It is smooth sack summer, boys. It's no longer, ass-eating season, but with all the right products from Manscaped, you got the ball wipes, you can clean up that area. So if you're on the go and you want to get a little in on, with your girl, or if you're on a hot date and you're like, man, I'm a little sweaty, I kind of have to shower. No, just use some ball wipes, clean up down there, and you're all ready to go. Like I said, it's Smooth Sack Summer. Get on board or get left behind. Thank you guys. Thank you, Manscaped. Once again, please, I'm telling you guys, I'm begging you. You help me, you help Manscaped, and you will help yourself with this product. The minute, your girl kind of looks down on there and she sees the little Manscaped waistband around there on the front, someone's about to go down. She knows someone's about to go down. She's going to unzip your pants and it's just going to glow in her face. Just golden glow of just like, oh. And that's when you know it's about to go down. So once again, you guys get 20% off plus free shipping with the code slob20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code slob20 at manscaped.com. It is Smooth Sack Summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind. Your balls will thank you.
Because he's got to know whose song goes with who. So once you start getting picky, like I want this my opener song, then he's got to put like Luis Rodriguez, and then he wants to listen to, fucking Usher. I don't know.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, when we get there, that's a good problem to have. I mean, when there's 5 of us, you can pick your song.
Yeah, true.
But,
I got to do the intro. I forgot.
Oh, shit.
There we go, just jumping in things. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Slob on the Pod, episode 65. This is your cleaning lady's favorite podcast to listen to when she's cleaning your stuff. I'm trying to think of new opening things. But on today's episode, we have Cody Beeson. Cody Beeson, thank you for coming out. For all you guys don't know, I'll give a little backstory to how we met. As you guys all know, if you guys have been listening for a while, I've always been saying how I wanted to stand up and stuff. And so finally this year, what was it, March? Was that the airport? No.
I
Red
have them
Moon?
all on a list.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I think I want to say March. For
for
the Red Moon show. My first show. I don't. When we
St.
first
Patrick's
met.
Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, your first show was St. Patrick's Day.
So that's April.
That would have been
When's
March 17th.
March. Okay. So March, I finally built up the courage and had stuff written down, and I went up on stage and did it. Then I met this guy, and actually once I got off stage, my goal going there was like, man, this is cool. Like I'm going to be in a room full of people that also want to do stand up, because for the longest time I didn't know anyone in Yuma that wanted to do it. Like legit, like get on stage. Like so many of my friends were like, that'd be cool. And then I was like, no, I'm serious. Like I want to go do it. Like I want to try it out, and like I think I could do it. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. So then that was my first show that I went to, and then that's where we met. And then like maybe 2 shows? No, the following show, because it wasn't until the second show, or was it the first show that you showed me about the airport one?
All right, so
Yeah,
Felipe's second show,
Yeah.
which was the one we met at, which would have been St. Patrick's Day. My first show was that first Wednesday of the month, so it would have been April 6th. I
Okay,
believe.
so you had one under your belt before you started.
No, that was my first one. So
the Red Moon.
Well, the first open mic I did was in April at and so that was your second one, right? At Brewers.
I didn't do Brewers. Oh, at the
You did
airport.
Brewers,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. My bad.
You
It
did
was the second
Brewers,
one.
yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, you're per the initial,
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
thought you meant a bar called Brewers. It didn't
Oh,
click on my head. I usually say airport. But anyways,
airport,
keep going.
yeah,
Keep going.
and same thing, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so keep going.
Oh no, I mean that was it. So I mean, Felipe had his, which is like music, poetry, and stand up, and he had, dozen people or so out, and 8 comedians, give or take. So I passed out flyers. I think maybe 5. You were one of those. Matt was one of those.
And so that's what I was getting at. So that was the first time I did Red Moon, and so the first time we met was when you gave me a flyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he gives me a flyer, and right away, like when you did that, I was like, dude, thank you. Like I want to do more of these. And then you told me when it just so happened that was like
Thank you.
following week. Yeah. Cheers to that, brother.
That's how it should be. Because honestly, like it takes like people to do it. Like if you want to do it, get out there and do it. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. If you want it, do it. Go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes other people to do it. So thank you for being one of those people that will come out and do 5-10 minutes.
Oh man, for sure.
You
like
have to.
And also, at some point in my life, like this wasn't always like something I wanted to do. Like I never even thought of doing this. So at some point in my life, I was like, man, that looks fun. And like I told you before, the goal for me is to be able to just live off doing stand-up. I don't need to be famous. I don't need to be like the most, I don't need to be a Kevin Hart or a George Lopez or a Dave Chappelle. But like, I just want to be able to make a living off comedy. And I think, and then I'd be good. Like, that's the dream for me. I don't have to work no more. I don't have to go do landscaping, which I love, by the way. Shout out to you guys. But, it's in this fucking heat. There's times where I'm like, man, I can't fucking wait till I make it. And I'm not doing this shit. I'm making jokes about when I used to be a landscaper as a typical Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And I think about that shit. And so, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I want this to be a thing. And so that was for, like, I think we talked about last time. Well, when we normally talk, because there was no last time. But I told you that there was so many times where I was like, man, like if I want to do stand up, I got to go to San Diego or LA. And it's like, I wish there was a place here. And then there was Red Moon. And I was like, that one showed up, and I was like, I'm going to fucking do it. And even in my head, I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
I kind of was going to pussy out.
Okay, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to kind of pussy out. And then I was like, no, man, what are you doing? Like, because it like I saw the flyer on a Tuesday, and it was that Thursday, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit, like I'm not ready. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like before I even thought about getting up on stage, I would just write funny things down. And so I was like, I have some stuff. Like I can look back at it, try to fix it, try to make it work for like 3 minutes or however many minutes they give us. And so I was like, you can, like, you want to do this. You keep making all these excuses. Like, just go do it. And I'm like, you know what? And so this is me talking to myself.
Yeah.
And so, like I told you, I manifested it as far as, like, as well as, like, I put it out on Instagram and everything. So many people were messaging me. They're like, oh, that's so badass. Like, you've always talked about it. Like, you're finally going to do it.
So you actually put it out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then that was my thing, was to me, I was like, okay, if I post about it, I have to do it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to look like a bitch. No one, this podcast is going to go downhill. They're going to be like, anything he says is bullshit. He never means it. He says he's going to do this and he does it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, it's all on me. But at the same time, it was
Sink
like
or swim.
It was the pressure I wanted.
Yeah.
So I forced it on myself, and I was like, do I have to do it? So then I posted about it, and I actually did it. And then
You did good.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no, you had a good set. You had a
Thank
good
you.
set. I thought you had performed before.
No,
So.
and like I don't know. Like I said, I was nervous, but I don't know. Once I grabbed the mic and just started like the minute I said something and I heard like someone go, I was like, I could do this. You know, like that was good enough for me. I didn't hear no silence. I didn't hear clinking. Like it was just like, huh, like someone was like, that's pretty funny. You know, I can see where that could be funny. So that from that point, I was like, I got this.
You ever play golf?
Yeah, I play golf sometimes.
Right.
I haven't played recently, but yeah.
All right, so I mean, look, golf is, you know, you're not going to hit every hole perfect, but you get that one swing, that one, and it keeps you coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can have 17.
That's such a good point.
You know what I mean? You have 17 miserable fucking holes, but that one
one,
you know what I mean?
300 yarder.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So kind of the same thing. You get that one laugh, and you know, okay, that worked, and why did the others not work? And what can I do to?
Yeah, you're like, at least I've proven to myself that I can make someone chuckle. So I'm there, right? I just need to keep building on it. That's what I thought.
100%. That's where it started for me. I would like I'd be in like meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say something. I made an attorney laugh. I'm like, okay, so if you know what I mean,
keep going, keep going. I have the same thing. Keep going.
So if I can make like this dude that is like barely paying attention, like okay, I want to keep trying this shit out. And I just kept writing, and then open mic happened, and then pandemic happened, and then you know everything shut down. So I've had one open mic, and then 2 years of nothing, and then you know you just do nothing but writing. You know, the point being is you get that one laugh, it kind of keeps you going. You know, so.
No, but you had said, oh man, what'd you say
Which one?
Oh, the whole thing about going to that meeting and trying to make someone laugh or whatever. Or, you know, you made them laugh, so you're like, oh, I made so-and-so, this boring-ass person laugh. Whatever, but what I was...
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. But, and, so for me, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to do stand-up, I want to go up on stage, and so, like, of course, I had the typical, like, everyone says, like, oh, you're funny, like, you're pretty, like, you're one of the funniest people I know. I got that a lot, but to the point where I was like, maybe I am. But I didn't want it to be like, you know, like to fuck with my head. It's like, you're funny, everyone says it, so you have to do stand up. Like, I was just like, you know what? These conversations I have with people, they seem to enjoy them, they seem to laugh. So from that point on, once I was like, I'm gonna get on stage, it kind of sucks, but if I go to a public setting, like with friends, the whole night, my goal is to have fun, get drunk, but also I need to make people laugh. Because if the whole night is boring, like if I'm at someone else's house, someone's party they're throwing.
Right.
If the party's boring, it's my fault. Because I should be the funny guy. I should be the
you
know.
feel like you have to be the center of attention.
Yeah, but also because like I feel like that's what people expect out of me. But at the same time, I feel the more I can open up more and try to be this goofy clown, like, hey, look at me in front of my friends. Once I get on stage, it kind of translates in a way where it's like, come on, you want this, you like this, you go, you know. Then when your friends come, you're like, oh, that's not how he's like at the party. It's like, I want to be what my friends see. I want to be the same way on stage.
Right.
So when I get off stage, people are, you know, like you watch movie characters, you're like, man, that guy would be cool to hang out with. When you find out he's like a fucking weirdo or whatever.
Right,
like,
right.
Rare emo.
Same. Marilyn Manson's weird.
I know, right? That one? Yeah, and then he ends up being like he's probably the funnest, nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
But same thing.
Right.
So I always wanted that to, so like whatever you saw on stage, you saw in real life. So whenever I was hanging around people, on the way there, I'm like, okay, like, we're running late. How can I make a joke about running late? Or, you know.
So you didn't shit yourself?
I did.
You really did?
That was legit.
That's true?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't spoil it, did I? I mean, I assumed you'd
No.
talk about that.
Oh, so, well, I mean, you brought up a good point, though. So on Saturday, what was it? June 25th.
Yeah.
We had our show over at Sage and Sand, which was a huge success. At least I think so. As far as like the turnout and the feedback I got, I thought it was a pretty big success.
Big room, a lot of people.
Love the area. Love the spot. I mean, it was that was like the first time I've ever been there. But anyways.
First time since Ron's place, yeah.
Oh, that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
So if you guys are from Yuma, then you guys know what he's talking about. Where Ron's place used to be, now it is called Sage and Sand.
Sage and Sand.
But I don't want to put it in front of the liquid IV. I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks bad if I put alcohol in front of liquid IV.
Oh, I've done that already.
So I'm like,
good point. I won't do that anymore.
No, you're good. You're good. I was like, I probably shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, so I think the show went great.
Yeah.
We had a huge turnout. And so so what he's talking about to me actually shitting myself was, so what happened was I was late, and I had told Felipe, which is Bandito Records, who put on the show. So shout out to Bandito Records and Luis. What?
Felipe?
I'm just thinking of like straight Mexican beaner names. That's the first one that came. I don't know why. I just said his name. Felipe, shout out to him. But it was cool. So I showed up late, and I texted him, and I was like, hey, like it was like 6. Wait, what time did the show start? 9, huh?
9, yeah.
So it was like 8:50.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna probably be there like at 8:05, maybe 8:10. So maybe you just open, and then I'll go from there. And he was like, all right, that's cool. But then he was like, hurry. And I was like, oh fuck. So then I'm going, and then on the way there, I was like starting to get real nervous, like really nervous. Like the more I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, because like normally I have like a whole thing where like I like to take my time, show up early. I don't like to fucking get there late and rush and just jump on stage. So I was like getting.
I've never seen you early to anything.
Oh man, that's like a going thing for me. And you
I'm
know
sorry,
what?
Can I say that?
Hey, today I was early.
You were here before.
The reason I told you show up 10 minutes later, I had been here since like 6:30.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made you wait then. I figure, I'd stop. I'd get some beers. Whatever.
No, I didn't want you to be like, come now. Like I said, I showed up early because I told you 7. So I was like, give me, I want the time for me to set up and not feel rushed, and I want it perfect. So the audio, everything, and so that's why I wanted that. But I wasn't late today.
Oh, I dragged.
For the record, if you guys listening or
okay.
watching.
No, you're super on time.
Nah, whatever, you can't change.
I drag like crazy.
You already said it. Anyway, so my typical lateness got me, and also like I was just very nervous, and so I at some point I was just like, man, like started getting like bubble guts almost, and I leaned over to fart, and I felt it went from like a fart to just like, and I was like, oh no, and normally I get those, but it's just sound, it's no shit came out, and I put my hand on there, and I was like, oh fuck, I shit myself, so I freaked out. I was like, I'm running late. And I was like, I'm already like, I was probably like 10, at that point I was like 5-10 minutes away. So I was like, I'm not going to go like 15 minutes back. It's going to be a whole nother hour probably, 30 minutes. Because I live out in YPG.
Dude, yeah.
So I got to bleep that out because that's secret confidential information. I'm just kidding. But, so then.
You said you live in the counties.
Yeah, I live in the counties. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But so I'm going, so I shit myself and I pull over and I'm like, I'm not going to go back and change my underwear. So I literally just take my pants off. Luckily, I had like a bag of wipes because we always do in our vehicles.
You have your kit.
It's not even a kit though. I was like, come on, I know we have wipey somewhere, and sure enough, I found baby wipes behind the car, like the passenger seat, that little luggage part they have right there. So I found those, and I was like, okay. So I took my underwear off, and I pull over, and I clean myself up, and I just put my pants back on. Luckily, the shit didn't go through my underwear and just went into my pants, or it didn't go into that.
That's a win.
Exactly. So I was like, okay. I was like, is this a sign that I shouldn't be doing this? But I was like, no, it's not. It's a sign from God that He's like, you shit yourself, but you're still gonna go up there. He's like, I didn't let the shit get to your pants.
That's God saying you're free balling tonight, buddy.
Yeah. He's like now you're really gonna put on your show.
So that's God saying two things: you're free balling, and you just had a birthday, right?
Yeah, June 16th.
Okay, you're old enough. You're learning a life lesson. Never trust a fart.
Yeah. Not only that, but like I always thought, when people shit themselves, that's something you do from probably the age born to like maybe 13, maybe 21 if you get too drunk. But like in between that and like 75, you shouldn't be shitting yourself. And I've done it. I did it that time. I did it when I used to work at Sprouts. I shit myself in the parking lot.
Okay. Well, never trust a fart.
And that was last year. But yes, clearly that's the moral of the story. That's today's episode title. Never trust a fart. That's good because now that'll help me because that's always the hardest part.
Okay, well, there you go.
Never trust a fart.
Oh man. Well,
but anyways,
it gave you a story. Gave you something to lead with for sure.
And that's what worked out. And that's what I'm saying. Like it all worked out. I was like, wait, this is kind of funny. Like I legit shit myself, and I could just tell it on stage, and I'm not lying or anything. And so yeah, it worked out.
Nice.
Maybe deep down I shit myself on purpose so I can have a story though. We never know.
Well, as long as you're not into it.
Myself.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care if you're into it. What do I care?
But yeah, so that's what he was talking about the did I really shit myself? That's that story. But no, it was really great. You did great. For the first time, I was able to get back. No, for me, not for you.
No, if you just take those two, you did great for the first time.
No, oh yeah, comma for the first time.
I was just
or
thinking,
period.
like, if you're reading the transcript, that's what it said. I'm sorry.
That's a good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, I appreciate it. I think every single time we learn a lesson. And, like, Saturday, we learned a lesson on, like, that's a crowd in a rowdy bar where people are drinking and trying to get bartenders' attention. And they're trying to get, drinks and shit. Like, dude, if you can get a laugh out of there, all right, you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was also a lesson because you saw other comics, paid comics, that had a hard time wrangling people and, like,
yeah, even they had it, and
like,
I mean, no, they did great though, but
There
you could
were-
tell there were certain areas where it was like, hey, like, I kind of did that too. You know what I'm saying? I had a point where no one said anything, no one laughed, no one gave a reaction, and here I am just like, all right, that didn't work, cool, on to the next one. Like, they had those points, and it's like, that's how they handled it. But no, I get what you're saying though, yeah.
Well, and that's part of that 100 thing, and when you have 100 of those under your belt, you'll know, okay, well, I should have stopped doing my, set, and I should have started going to, like, individual crowd things, because when people started, like,
crowd work always, like, yeah,
like, when you start getting reactions when you mention, like, teachers and things, like, okay, well, I can go to this person and say certain things, but point being is, knowing that at that time, I didn't. I just kept, like, ignoring everything around me, and I realized in hindsight that was probably wrong. I should have like engaged the people and shut them down. But dude, there's just so many, so you just kind of like stay focused.
The one that you did that I don't know if I wanted to ask you. I don't know if it's part of your act or if it's just something you go to. But you have that thing where you ask people, the crowd, like, give me a topic.
Yeah. I did that wrong though, but yes, thank you.
So when you do that, what happens when someone actually? Because for the two times I've seen you do it, everyone kind of stays quiet. No one wants to interact.
Yeah,
they don't think you're really asking them, like, to give them a topic. So then at some point you're like, okay, I'll just talk about this. So you make up your own. But what if at some point someone does give you a topic and you're like, oh shit? No.
So that's happened before, and
you're supposed to not say anything.
That's happened before, and you just roll with it, whatever comes off the top of your head.
Oh, okay.
But ideally, it doesn't matter what they say. It's about getting me to that point where I want to start, a joke, where I have a bit where I want to.
It kind of gives you an idea. You're like, oh wait, I can talk about this. Like, oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm saying that whole bit. Like, what do I care if I'm giving this away? But point being is that whole bit is basically I'm gonna say something regardless if I heard it or not, and I'm gonna get into.
Okay.
I'm gonna get into a bit about that.
Yeah. So someone gives you one, and you still go back to the original thing you were gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I like that because that's like a subtle laugh to the point where it's like you really have to be paying attention to get that joke. Like when you watch movies and there's like funny things they say, like little quirky things, but like it just goes from one scene to they say that and it goes back to the other scene. It's like, wait, that was kind of funny that was thrown in there. But no, I get that. You ask them something, you're like, give me a topic, and someone's like, Biden. You're like, all right, yeah. So today, we're gonna talk about fucking the other thing you were gonna talk about, and the guy's like, that's not what I said. Yeah,
whatever.
It's like, yeah, and then it's like, that's not what I said, and everyone just starts laughing.
But it's not. And so I guess I don't know. I've learned all my lessons.
So you
in
need
life,
someone to throw out something,
right,
for it to work. Okay,
but it's not about that one person. It's about everybody else. So if you can get laughter out there through other people, then I'm sorry, dude. I didn't talk about gas prices, but I did talk about whatever that, Epstein, and that got laughter or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's kind of like whenever you're mid-conversation and say you're talking about your mom, or say you're talking about getting in a car crash or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what's so funny you said car crash, because I was just going to tell you about this time that I had sex with this one girl and I thought I got herpes. And it's like, how do those two go together? Like, no, it's just funny that I just threw it off where it's like I had nothing to do with that. It's like, how did my car accident that I almost died from connect in your mind to the time you almost had herpes with a girl? Like,
Well, they're all in the same category.
Yeah. It's
Gotta
like,
see the same doctor.
It's like, let me finish. Let me get to the point. And then you're like, oh. No, okay. But I get you. Like, you kind of give them like a little curveball. And I think that's smart.
Well,
no, that's good. You should. But like I said, at that point, you just needed someone to actually say something. And another one I want to say. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I got nothing.
Because I'm telling you, I really watch your set.
Shit.
Okay. And I'm not dissecting it.
No, I'm glad. You know what?
There's just
That's what
things
it's for. All
there's
right.
just things you say, and I'm like, and I laugh, and then you keep, and so like for instance this one. So
Uh-huh.
on Friday you did the whole you guys, I think you said something about going to Mexicali, and like, you know, all you got to do is like either be 18 or white.
Yeah.
And you said it, and you kept going, and you got a lot of laughs. Me and my buddy were laughing because he was like, "Man, that's so true." Like, you go to Mexico, all you need to do is either be 18 or white, and you get in. You could be fucking
Anything you want.
yeah. And so, and that's when that was one of my notes, and I was like, "Oh man, like you say that, give it a good pause though, because it'll let it build and then just keep going."
You know, I'm
'Cause
really.
you had that.
I thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
for sure, for sure.
I'm so tired of that. I pulled that out of nowhere because it wasn't on my list, but I don't know why. I just.
It was just you being a smartass, kind of just going with emotion.
Well, I don't know. I didn't get nervous, but I didn't do the list I had prepared. I just went off of like memory of like what I know kind of works. So I went with that one. But because of that, I tried something new that really hasn't worked in other places, and that's the ultimate gated community. You know what I mean? Because like I said,
What's that?
well, dude, we live in Yuma. Like I don't understand racism. I really don't. Like I grew up, dude. This is a Hispanic community. This used to be fucking Mexico,
Yeah,
right? Gadsden Purchase. You know what?
Yeah.
Like, point being is, we're all one community. So going into Mexico and even Calexico and Mexicali and El Centro. I mean, if you look at like the industry that we are. I mean, we really are one community. So my point is, we're just in Yuma or America. We're just the gated community part of that.
Oh, I see.
You know, we're just there's just a gate, and it's the ultimate gated community
Yeah, I get you.
because
Oh, okay.
they're federally funded.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fuck around. They'll take away your children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, it's true.
put them in cages. Anyways, that's the bit. Point being is, it actually worked there when I said like it's the ultimate gated community. They actually like got it, and I don't. When I say this to you, I sound incredibly racist. But my point is like,
Why? Because I'm Mexican?
no, because I don't know, because it sounds.
It
racist.
isn't. You're good.
My point
No,
is
I
like,
like this. That was a good one.
I
though.
appreciate Mexico. Like living down here, you should fucking know Spanish. You should fucking appreciate, the culture. Like, dude, we have some of the best, Mexican food and music. And if you look at like some of the concerts that come through here, like, you should appreciate what we have going on.
Yeah, we're like pre-Mexico. Like
Yeah.
you go from like California, then you like Yuma, and then it's like, I think I'm in Mexico. No, you're still in the States, but it's kind of like this. And then you hit, it's like San Luis and like Mexicali, and it's like, no, this is Mexico. It's like, oh, okay. There's like little traits of it here in Yuma, but once you get to Mexicali, you get the updated version.
Oh yeah, and you grew up here, right? So you went to San Luis, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's
growing
where I
up?
went to. That's I think. No, in Mexicali, I
Mexicali?
got my braces.
Okay, yeah.
So bada bing, bada boom.
There you go.
I take my dogs there. So I do a lot of business there. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, so it's gated.
But see, and I also,
Yeah.
but no, and so the fact that didn't work.
No, it worked. It actually did.
Oh, it did
That-
work.
that one did
Where-
work,
in
yeah.
here in Yuma though.
No, that one worked on Friday. At the Friday show.
Oh,
Like
that's-
I remember getting some laughs from that. I'm like, oh shit, that worked. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that. So I think it also helps that they know where they're at.
Exactly.
They know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
The border wall is.
But see, that
Yeah.
brings up another good point: is doing research in areas you're doing, like if you do border jokes in California, in San Diego, in Yuma, in if you go to Texas, you go like the border near Juarez. Those jokes are funny because those people know what you're talking about. But say you do them like whatever else fucking places are in the middle, they won't get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, or it'll be racist. That's another thing.
When I did that when I did that Havasu show with Adam,
Oh, I know. Yeah, I heard about that.
I'm not going to throw you under the bus.
I wasn't even here.
No, when I tried to do that, when I did the Havasu show, I realized that the other two comedians on the set the lineup that night, one of which did a lot of research about Havasu, talked about the bridge, talked about the stuff, and it was like, okay, that's part of his set was 10 minutes, 5 minutes about
Roast this town.
exactly.
In a way,
Exactly.
yeah, but yeah,
Exactly. Roast the
And
town, and
that's-
they all laugh. Oh yeah, that's right.
because they can easily relate.
Yeah.
Like
It's what they want.
exactly.
It's what they want.
Yeah, or it's almost like you go somewhere and you're just like, because you live here, you're like, oh, that seems kind of ghetto, but I don't think it is. Like, I kind of grew up like with that. But then when someone comes out from fucking Sacramento and they've never been to Yuma and they're like, yo, you got this fucking thing over here, that shit is ghetto, and it's like, it is ghetto, isn't it? Like you're like, you relate. You're like, okay, it is ghetto. Like an outsider, this is ghetto. Yeah. But like that's what I'm saying is like, and that's a good point. Also, like the guy on Friday, the Mexican dude from Vegas.
Okay.
He brought up that he was like, man, he's like, when I found out I was coming out to Yuma.
Carlos.
Yeah. Rodriguez?
Sure.
That's me being racist. Just assuming. I'm actually going to look him up because he was actually a really nice guy. Hold up. Let me.
I have him on.
Let me see.
The same thing you're pulling him up on. He was funny. He took control of the room. So the Friday show, I think.
Yeah. I was right.
Was Carlos Rodriguez? Yeah.
Carlos Rodriguez.
It was
Put his
great.
Instagram right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
7,000.
Carlos Comedy.
8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Keep going. You're saying.
I'm saying it was a great room. The way they had it set up, and it just it felt like a comedy setting. Like.
Mm-hmm. I know. I even sent my girl a picture, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's a legit." Yeah. But I think because she saw like the backdrop, and that's normally what you see. Like. It said, I think it said Ricky's, or what did it say?
It
had like
it was the production SOAZ Productions.
Yeah, okay. So so it was a legit show. It was fun.
Yeah. But point being, the room they were there for a comedy show.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what it was for.
They weren't there to like go to the bar. Like they were gonna get some drinks, but their main reason was to see comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I definitely got that vibe from that room too. But no, going back to Carlos Rodriguez?
Yes, Carlos.
Yeah. He had a joke where he was saying that, yeah, man, like I never heard of like Yuma. Like I've heard of it, but I never been there. He's like, so I come down, I did some research before I came. He even said it.
Yeah.
I did some research, and he's like, I find out like you guys are like the most famous for like your prisons. He's like, that's when I know you're hard. Like you guys are known for a fucking prison. Like that's your historic thing to remember when you go through Yuma.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Like in my head, I'm thinking like, man, he's never been here supposedly or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did research. Like that's so smart. And like I said, it's because you know what he's talking about. You've probably taken a trip like to the museum or people growing
it's
up.
our biggest state park in town for sure. I mean it's one of two state parks, but it is by far the biggest attraction we have. 100%. Yeah. I mean that's shit, dude. That's why our oldest high school is named,
Yuma Criminals.
Yeah. Like there is it kind of, it's a funny story. I heard this from the city historian. She said, God, it must have been 1860s or some shit like that. So Arizona's still a territory. It had been after that. Anyways, point being was, the state legislator was going through adopting different things, and they went to lunch. And at the lunchtime, one of our representatives wrote in Yuma for the state prison because that would bring a lot of economic development down to the region. And at that time, Tucson was going to get the state college. State college ended up being U of A.
Oh, really? So that's what we're known for now.
The state prison is this,
of course,
thing that gets what, however many thousand visitors, but it's not a University of Arizona,
That's what we're equivalent to.
Well, no, I'm saying
our prison is equivalent to a fucking university.
Well, no, that's what the Arizona College ended up becoming, was University of Arizona.
Oh, I see.
So if they had written it opposite, Yuma would have gotten the university, or would have gotten Arizona College, and then become the university.
Oh,
and then Tucson would have gotten the prison, but. They wrote it like, oh, the prison's bank. This is Wild West, man.
Mm-hmm.
Prison's business. Nobody wants to go to school.
Yeah, that's true.
Get out of here with your stupid college. Send that to them in Tucson.
We ain't doing no learning down here.
So point being was, Yuma ended up getting the prison. Tucson got the college. Tucson gets university because it becomes U of A.
Do you think at that point in time, though, do you think Yuma would have turned into a Phoenix? We would have been the big city.
I mean, at some point we were,
right? Because you got to build around that. You can imagine Yuma just has one of the biggest colleges.
At some point we actually should have one. We should have a Southern Arizona university. There should be something that has international.
But that sounds like some DeVry University, like some online bullshit.
Yeah,
Like that name, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is like it had to have been something around that time. You can't just create something now, because at this point all the college big names, you hear a college name and you're like, "Oh man, that's a pretty, you know, good sports or good, you know, academics, whatever." But now at this point, like, you have DeVry University, you have like all those online, not scams, but those like in you know 60 days or in fucking 24 months you can have your bachelor's degree or something. It's like, but
certification in VCR repair.
Yeah, and it's like, but if I take this job, they don't accept it. Like most don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at this point, if you create like a Arizona Southern out of Yuma, and it's like Arizona Southern sounds like community college at this point with all the community college names.
At a certain point, it has to have, you know, credentials, and it becomes a university. But there's a lot of
the alumni has to be a thing.
Yeah, there has to be a process to it. But I'm saying at some point that could be us. I mean, we're certainly big enough, but it's just
that's a fun fact though.
It's just interesting how it could have went either which way, and we ended up getting the prison, and the prison's now what it is, and
what we're known for.
The college that Tucson got is what U of A is. So,
but the cool thing though about Yuma is that we're in an area where, what I want to say, 3 hours is LA, maybe 2.5 an hour 45 is San Diego. You know, Phoenix is 3, so we're in a good area where. If you've gone from LA to Phoenix, like 3 major cities.
Vegas is 5, Tucson is 4.
Exactly.
3.
So like I feel like at some point if you're traveling from California and you're trying to go to Phoenix, or you're going from San Diego or whatever, all those places, like at some point you're gonna pass by here.
Oh yeah.
So it's a good area. It's kind of not the middle of nowhere. It's the desert, of course, but it's, you know, to everyone else that comes out of a big city, they're like, man, you might never heard of that. But little did you know, like when you're traveling from, you know, LA to Phoenix, you pass through it.
Yeah.
You know, at some point you probably went to the Chevron or something right there by the prison, by the jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've probably been downtown. You probably stayed at one of the hotels, like one of that stuff. So it's like when people are like, you know what, I passed through a Yuma before. And I feel like a lot of people are going to have gone through that. So we're kind of in a good area.
I've met people that have passed through Yuma, or you know, hey, they've been there. They mentioned the McDonald's and the water towers.
The water
you know what
towers.
I'm talking about, right there on the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
even like TV shows.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the other day I was listening to an old episode of Bad Friends.
Okay.
With Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, and Bobby Lee had mentioned Yuma.
Oh, okay.
Like, in a way, he even said Yuma, Arizona.
No shit.
Yeah, he said something. It was like a joke, though. He was saying, like, you know, when I was a little kid, like, you know, I thought I had herpes, and he's like, for the longest time, I thought you only got herpes, like, if you like lived in, like, I don't know, like fucking like Yuma, Arizona. You know, and I was like, what? And I rewinded, and I was like, he said Yuma, Arizona. Like, he's obviously heard of the place or been there, and then you find out his mom lives up in Tucson or something.
Well, he's from San Diego.
Yeah. Like Poway. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he knows the area, so he's like, he knows if he went from San Diego to his mom up in Tucson or Phoenix or wherever, or Gilbert, he's passed through Yuma.
Yeah.
So it's not like something he just made up. It's something that he's seen before. So it's something that's, like I said, it's in movies, it's in TV shows, it's comedians, it's in their mouths. So it's like we're like, you know, like we're like a unknown famous place.
Right. I mean,
if that makes sense.
There's 200,000 people, 100,000 within the city, 100,000 within the county, 200,000 people countywide. I mean, it is a large enough community. I mean, it's not a million, you know, plus what Tucson or Phoenix may be, but it's enough of a market where you should be able to get a dozen people out to try an open mic night, to get 40 people out to watch one. And actually, dude, there's more people coming out to watch them than there are to participate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because like I told you, everyone thinks like it looks fun, it looks cool, like they want to try it, but no one really wants to do it. When it comes down to it, they're like, you know what, like I'd rather just go to a comedy show. There's way more people that would rather go and be in the crowd and listen to someone try to make them laugh than to actually be the person making the crowd laugh.
Right.
And that's easily understandable. I mean, like I told you, the first time I almost pussied out. Almost every single time that I've done an open mic, I almost pussy out.
Exactly. Same here. So I shouldn't say almost, but like same here. So the first time, if it wasn't for my friend Charles, who had the restaurant, who was putting on the open mic and putting on comedy shows, I may not have done it. I don't know, but at some point you just say, okay, well, I guess I'm signed up. I do it. The second open mic I ever did, which would have been like 2 years later, I did it because I'd reached out to the guy and he said, oh, you know what? You're coming from Yuma? Fuck. I'll definitely get here. Make sure you connect with me. I'll definitely make sure you get on.
Damn, so he knew. He knew.
He's like, you're coming 3 hours? Yeah, we'll make sure. So when they say that, it's like, okay, I have, you know what I mean? I have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't show up that night, you can't come back and do that again.
Exactly. Because they're always going to see you like that. They're like, oh, he chickened out last time.
Yeah. So
you gotta take it. That's the moment in your life where it's like that. This is my shot.
But that's every time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, when you do stand up, it definitely is like that.
Yeah.
Because every single time that you're missing out on an opportunity, like let's just say that Friday show.
Yeah.
Say because the next day was the Saturday show at Sage and Sand. So say that Friday, you told me about it. You're like, hey, like I think I could get you on. Say I was like, yeah, I really want to do it, but in my head I'm like, that's like, no, I can't do 2 shows back to back. Like, no. And then I was like, so I told you, yeah, but then I wanted to message you and be like, bro, like I can't make it tonight, like whatever. But then once again, I was like, no, then I'm always going to be known as that, so he's going to stop doing it, whatever. And so like that forced me to show up. Yeah. And then it ended up working out because then I made connections. That Carlos Rodriguez guy, we follow each other on Instagram now. He always he's super cool. He even wrote me a little diagram about like how he puts his jokes. Like,
oh, cool.
He pretty much did like a spider web. He wrote like homeless people or hobos, and he put a circle, and then he put like legs out, and then he wrote like homeless, they stink, they don't, they sleep outside, they beg for money, and then that's how he boils it down to a joke. So he showed me all this stuff, super cool. So what I'm getting at is like if I hadn't done that show Friday, I wouldn't have made that connection. I wouldn't have met someone super cool. Now he's in my Instagram. He follows me. I follow him. I can DM him. He told me he's cool. And so now I'm exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like every single time there's someone tells me like, hey, yo, Friday, there's this show at 9 p.m. What are you doing? And if I know I'm not doing anything, I'm like, I didn't plan on doing anything Friday. I'm like, I have to go. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Like the one, like Lake Havasu. If you told me that, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I have the money if I need gas to get up there or.
I was gonna take you, man. And my thought was, I'm already driving up there. I can split my time. Yeah. And I mean,
you're not going out of your way.
It cost me $50 in gas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I drive up, drive back. So my point was, I go up there and give this other, like I see us in the same class. We're freshmen.
That's what, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I was. Yeah. That's
this other dude, because I need you to come up too. You know what I mean? We all need to come up together. So
and then that's why I easily attracted to you. I don't have attraction feelings.
No
for
homo.
You. No homo. Yeah, that's what the kids say nowadays. But no, it's just like I was like this guy. Like you said, we're in the same class. We're both kind of coming up around the same time as far as like doing our open mics. And then now you're putting on a show that we'll get to that point.
Okay,
at some point. Now you're gonna put up on a show. Every show at this point we've been together doing them.
Right.
And so like I told you, you're like my lighthouse. Like whenever I get to the show and I see you, I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. He's here too. We're like on the same level at some point. And if he fucks up, if I fuck up or he does good, I fuck up. Like I'm glad he's here because he did good, and vice versa. Like I'm just like I'm glad you're around. So yeah, thank you for.
Likewise, I'm glad you show up, man. Like I said, that first open mic at Brewers, when I was there, Matt showed up. It's like, all right, it's going to be us for an hour.
Yeah, when I got there, I was like, first off, it was like,
God, because again, at that point, I thought, oh, this guy had done it like half a dozen times.
Because all you knew was from the Red Moon
I didn't know that was your second time. Dude, I thought you had been like, oh, okay, well, he's got 10 minutes of shit, like he can do stuff. I didn't realize that was number 2 for you.
Oh, yeah, no.
And you went for 7 or 8 minutes that time.
Well, see, and that's my thing is like I freaked out because, you also, that's the thing is if you guys ever go to the airport, the Brewers upstairs and the shows we put on, those are super very open mic. They're on a Wednesday. They're
first Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, when we start them, when's the next one going to be?
July 6th.
July 6th at the Brewers Airport.
Yeah.
Upstairs. So it's a Wednesday. The sun's still out. people are just probably going to like for dinner or something, like maybe a date night, whatever, and they just happen to catch like, oh, there's a stage, there's a microphone, like what's going on, and then they just kind of fall into, now they're like forced into just like listen to our comedy, and so when I got there, I was like, what? And then you told me, yeah, there's only 3 of us, it's me, you, and another guy. I'm like, wait, so how long are we doing? You're like, just go however long, like it's only 3 of us, we have an hour here. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so I only did 7 minutes because I was like, I'm going to do what I planned for, that I had been like, practicing with, like to myself, because that was obviously like only my second time. I didn't even use any of the Red Moon stuff from the first show.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, try different stuff.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know if that went good, so I'm going to try some. Like, I only did like probably 2 jokes in a span of like 5-6 minutes at Red Moon. And then, because he red lighted me.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh shit, I gotta wrap this up. And like I didn't want to leave on like a dead note, so I was like, oh, so I said like one thing, I got a little chuckle. I was like, all right, that's my time, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that works for me. So that didn't really work. So, and I didn't think it went great. So the next one, I was like, I have these other 2 that I wanted to fit in, but it was not enough time. So I tried them there, and that's when I was like, well, I tried these 2, they didn't really work, and I was like, and from memory, once again, I was just like, well, I do have this one, and I was like, fuck it, let's just try it. And so that's why I just kept going. And then I did the thing too where I was like, this is the punchline, you're supposed to laugh. No one laughed. This is the punchline, you're supposed to laugh. And then I create one, nothing happens. And I'm like, and I finally just say something. And I'm like, well, fuck me, right? And then everyone just gets a little giggle. I'm like, all right, that's my time, guys. I'm out. Like, that's my sign to get off. But yeah, no, the airport ones are definitely fun to just watch us pretty much just try stuff.
That's what it is. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You're not paying for entertainment.
No.
We are trying. And
that's what you need to get through your heads at least. But, but we can't blame you.
And that's the thing. Like any other city, you go to Tucson, you go to Phoenix or wherever, you're going to have multiple open mics a night. You can go multiple places and try different things or try the same things and try them in different crowds. And we have 2 a month if we're lucky. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got, me and you, thanks to you, we got 3 this month.
Right?
Didn't we? The airport, Friday, and then Saturday.
Oh, yeah, we're in June, yeah. But I'm thinking like next month, we got July 6th, and then I don't know what else we have in July as far as open mic goes. I know there's a paid show.
Oh, do you want to get into that?
At some point, we will.
Do you want to talk about it? We can talk about it now since you brought it up.
This should be the place where we talk about it, be honest.
Yeah.
Let me get a beer. Can I get you want a beer?
Yeah, grab me one, please.
All right.
I'll get everyone kind of warmed up. So, after we talked, after, I'll take a Heineken. So after the Sage and Sand show, we kind of, was it before or after the show that we talked about that? No, it was before. So last week you came over and we talked about that you had been talking to this comedian, George Perez. The bottle opener. And I'm not going to lie. I like comedy, but I'm not far enough into comedy where I know all these comedians are like,
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, but who doesn't Joe Rogan? But I'm saying like it's not like the Dave Chappelle's, the Dane Cooks, like the Joe Rogans, like all those famous names you hear about nowadays.
Yeah.
So and no dig on him. Like I don't mean no disrespect to him.
No, I'm just saying he's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. So this comedian, he's giving a little hint. So George Perez, he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. What was it, episode
850 or something like that?
Yeah, around there. So check it out.
There's Jordan keeping it real.
But and so then he's been on Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and what's her Christina Pajinski.
Your Mom's House, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was on the Burtcast. He's been on these huge podcasts.
Joey Diaz.
He was on Joey Diaz's podcast.
HBO's.
He was on
Central.
MTV
Showtime.
Yo Mama's House.
Yeah.
If you guys know what we're talking about, so MTV used to have a show where it was called not Yo Mama's House.
Yo
Mama.
Yeah, Yo Mama.
Yo Mama. And it was just, they would go to like Boyle Heights. They'd go to Hollywood. They'd go mainly in LA, I think. I don't know. I don't remember if the different seasons changed, but I know for the most part it was LA based.
Yeah.
And it was like Hollywood. And then, like I said, it was like all these like ghettos or whatever. And they would get like cholos and these black people and these like white people, and like they'd get these like super smart kids from like USC or something, or like Stanford, and they would battle each other with like Yo Mama jokes. And what's his name was the host from that 70s show?
Oh man.
Oh, the Mexican dude. It's at the tip of my tongue. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Okay, if they're listening, they know what I'm talking about.
You can add it in post.
Yeah, I will. But anyways, so this guy, this real famous dude, was a host, and so he was on Yo Mama,
Yeah.
and he actually won. I don't want to give too much away, but
Okay.
anyway, so he's a big person. Definitely look him up.
He's
on
a headliner.
Instagram. Yeah, he's a
He's
headliner.
a legit comedy headliner.
Funny enough, so you told me when you guys and him were talking that you had originally planned for a show on July 23rd.
Yeah.
Why did he have to reschedule?
So it's like the equivalent of being added to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's having his name added to the Comedy Store website, the Comedy Store wall.
Yeah. So if have you been there?
Yeah, I have.
So you know with the cursive writing on the outside.
Yeah.
wall.
I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, it takes some time. But I mean, between first off becoming a door person, being an open micer there, you don't just get to. First off,
it's almost like an honor just to be the door person.
Exactly.
Or like to work there in general.
So if you want to do an open mic, you have to win like a lottery, so to speak. And then you get to do the open mic, and at some point, if you get to try out and become a door person, or there's comics, like professional comics, they park cars there.
Yeah.
They park cars.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of comedians now that are going up that they're like, yeah, I used to park so and so's car, or like now they're on podcasts with the people they park cars for.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Well, point being,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So the Comedy Store, if you ever seen the Showtime show, I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, I'm not getting into it. Point being is, the Comedy Store is the pinnacle of comedy.
Like once you made most comedians say once they made it, they're like once they were able to perform in the Comedy Store, they were like, I made it.
Yeah,
that was it. They didn't need to fill auditoriums or auditoriums, fucking theaters or baseball stadiums. Like no, there was like I made it to a comedy club on this city street. That's it. Like my dreams met. And it's definitely like was it the Glory Land or like the. You know what I'm talking about?
Promised Land.
The Promised Land. Like it's like that's the goal to further our goal.
I would be happy with a Comedy Store La Jolla. Obviously, Comedy Store Hollywood is like Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day,
and all the people that performed in it. That's what I always think about. Is like imagine being on that stage and you kind of look around, you're like, so and so performed here. Jim Carrey stood on this stage in this room, at least the walls. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here too. It's like a crazy feeling. So, I can only imagine.
So the Showtime show, I'm Dying Up Here, talks about that stuff, and then there's
you saw it?
Yeah. Oh, there's a book about it. If you want, I'll loan you the book.
I've read the please book. Do.
So two things. So the book talks about it, and then I've read another book by Tom Dreesen. He's a comic. He was Frank Sinatra's opener. And he was instrumental in the strike when that happened in the 70s. And it really sucked for him because he was making thousands of dollars doing headlining gigs around the country, but he came back to strike. My point being is there's a lot of history with the Comedy Store, and to be a regular at the Comedy Store is, fucking the elite. So if we're freshmen and whatever, they're like Ivy League professors, you know what I mean? Like that's,
oh, shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be
wait, are we freshmen in high school or college?
Probably high school.
God damn.
Maybe junior high. I don't know. Kindergarten. I don't know.
Oh my god. That's a good way to put it in perspective.
Well, it takes 10 years to be an expert in anything, So
they say. Oh, what is it? The 1,000-hour rule?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And I always relate that 1,000-hour rule to just stage time. And actually, I was listening to a podcast with Joey Diaz, and he talked about that.
Yeah.
He was like, so you got to think, like, if I'm doing, Wednesday through Sunday or Saturday, and I'm doing 5 minutes each, that's only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 14, 15, 20. That's 20 minutes in only 1 week. Like, I gotta bump the numbers up. You know what I'm saying? And that's so true. And, like, that's why the whole, going back to the doing it out of a small town, like, you are creating opportunities for people like me and you, but you're actually like the one that's like in charge, and you're taking charge. You're like, we don't have clubs. I mean, we have clubs here, but we don't have comedy clubs. So it's like, okay, so then, well, we have nice bars. Some of these bars have stages. Why not go in and be like, hey, like, can we do this here? And it's like, yeah, why not? Then you get connections with the closers and stuff, and it's like, and so what I'm saying is like you have created that that atmosphere in Yuma, Arizona, to where a lot of people that from doing these past shows, so many people are like, they're like, man, this is cool. Like, when did you guys start this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've only been doing it since, March. And they're like, yeah, this is like a new thing, huh? Like comedy clubs, like comedy in like Yuma. And I was like, I guess so. And so once I heard that, I was like, oh shit, like we're kind of starting something, like not to like, brag or like be like, oh, I'm the first one to do that. Not like that, but just like, oh, we're kind of part of that movement in a way of Yuma where it's like,
well, the Great Reset, man. The Great Reset. The pandemic reset everything. So now that
the Great Reset,
it was a clean slate, and nobody else is doing comedy. I was, like I said, I was going out of town for it. If I have appointments in Phoenix or San Diego or whatever, I have a reason to be up there. I would hang out and stay over. But it sucks. It sucks because 8:00 at night, is when they start. So you're staying there. You're staying late. So my point is, I had to do something here. I was looking to join a Toastmaster group. Have you ever done Toastmasters?
No, I never even heard of that.
It's a nonprofit organization that only cares about public
Toasters.
speaking.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that joke. Point being is, I would try out jokes in those Toastmaster meetings. I would try out speeches in those meetings.
Okay.
But I got out of it for a while, but I was looking to go back because I was so desperate for like 5 minutes of time to try something. Because, dude, every time San Diego, like, you're driving, you got to, like, have another reason to be up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I needed it more frequently because things would happen, and, you need to get them out. You need to try them, like, the day they happen.
Mm-hmm.
The day Johnny Depp and Amber Heard settle a case or whatever, or there's a verdict, you need to be able to try that joke out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work next week.
Exactly. Yeah, it has to be, and that's the thing too. Is like I have one that I used on Friday, which the Roe v. Wade one, and I was thinking about it. I was like, this is only going to work for a couple more months, maybe weeks. So I was like, why? But then I was like, do I spend more time on this because I did it on Friday and it kind of worked out. Saturday, not so much. I think to a lot of people it was like, oh, that's a good point. Like that's pretty funny, but it wasn't like hilarious. So, but I'm like, do I really need to focus on that one? Like in a couple months, a couple weeks, like, is it still going to be an issue? So I get what you're saying. Like you kind of have to have your current event jokes and you have some that just 9/11 jokes.
Right.
What is it? The Nazis, the fucking.
The Holocaust?
The Holocaust. Yeah, that big one. It slipped my
knucklehead.
mind what the name was. But no, like,
knuckleheads.
yeah, those ones, they're always going to be a significant part of history. So
Yeah.
those always work. But yeah, when you have like these school shootings, you have stuff like that. It's like if you're gonna use them, it sucks because it's like, when is enough time for people to be like, okay, like it was terrible, like we can laugh about it. But at the same time, if you wait too long, it's no longer, what's the word? Relevant.
In all fairness, Jordan,
You got what I'm
you
saying?
can always use a school shooting joke.
Yeah, class is always in session for those ones. But no,
Those are
yeah,
always
totally.
happening.
That's a good one though. But like the abortion one, it's either gonna continue on, or they're gonna be like, yeah, okay, like we're gonna switch it back to you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like that joke's only gonna last for so long. So you have to really be picky and choosy, and just know that one you may be using is only good for a couple months. And at that point, it's like it was kind of like a, what's the word? Like when you're like not a scapegoat, but like it's an easy joke.
Yeah.
Because it's current event. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
So I had this podcast, not a podcast. It's weird.
You keep saying that.
No.
They
use the term. They use the term podcast, but it's really just a conversation. It's like a phone call that other people can listen to. But point being is, I had this discussion,
like a radio show.
Yeah.
No.
Discussion with this comedian for an hour and a half, and we discussed everything. And she let me know in some terms, like, look, man, men really can't have abortion jokes anymore. All right, like it's a woman thing, and like it's frowned upon. And if you want to work and you want to make money and have a successful life doing this, then that's really not an option for
I see.
guys. Well, now that it's current and it's in the news, I mean, I think it's kind of fair game. But every single comedian I saw this past weekend, the 6 of them or whatever, the 3 on 3
From Friday and Saturday, yeah.
None of them went there. They all stayed away from it. And in the green room of each show, they both kind of indicated like, nope, not going there. And I'm like, I have a thing. It's a whole bit about my thing. And now
So
it's
did
all
I go?
fucked up.
So did I fuck up by going Roe v. Wade
I don't
on
think
Friday?
so.
I think I went
'Cause
Roe
I
v.
have a
Wade the
thing,
day
too.
it happened.
No, we both did. We both had. So the the amateurs went there. The other fucking pros didn't. But my point is, I had a thing regardless, about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been told it's probably a bad idea and I shouldn't do it.
Makes sense why it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't reading the room.
Yeah.
But I also, once again, I was like, well, it just happened. They know what I'm talking about. I don't have to do too much explaining of like what Roe v. Wade is. Everyone knows right now.
Well, I mean, and I have some new notes I've written about that.
Roe v. Wade or just like
about the whole situation. About the whole.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, because really, at the end of the day, here's what it is. People are complaining like it's unconstitutional. Do you hear that? Do you hear like,
that changing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Hey, when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't even allow women to vote.
Yeah, it's very true.
All right. Do you think they
want to
gave
base it
a
off the
fuck
same
about
morals?
what you? Yeah.
That's very true.
Your other right. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's I'm working that one out.
No, that's
but
good.
That's my point is when they wrote that shit. So don't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Say I want to be able to murder a baby. Okay, you're allowed to.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Do it. Go for it. Just say it. That's what you want to do. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Hey, I fucked up. Whatever. Oops.
But it's also the thing where it's like, there's so, and that's the thing is there's so many different things like because my idiot naive mind was just like, well, why would a girl want to like that's your fault like because the only thing I was thinking was the only thing I think of abortion when I was like younger was abortion, unsafe sex. That's it. I totally forgot that you can possibly have a baby if you get raped and like all these other things. So I was like, oh man, so like I sound so stupid. Yeah, or or if it's just like it's not the perfect time.
Or
like,
if you're lazy
financially, like like, and it's like to everyone else, it's like you shouldn't do it. It's like, but just let them have that choice though. So I didn't think about that. All I thought was like I was like, why would you want to abort something like just because you fucked up like you didn't have safe sex and like he didn't pull out like no you should like suffer the consequences. But then I realized like there's other consequences like someone getting raped and someone incest and stuff like that like all that other stuff. So I'm like, oh man, like I was all fucking stupid about that. So now I get the idea and I'm totally on board with it. Like I think it's fucked up too, but I don't see comedic wise why it's just like we all know what happened. Like it fucking sucks and we're over here trying to change it. We're still in the works. Obviously it just got changed recently. There's no one's saying that it can't possibly be reversed.
I mean,
so why not just make fun of it?
I don't know. I like to draw attention to it and try to make it absurd. Do you remember A Modest Proposal? Something we probably reviewed.
I probably sounded terrible though, by the way.
No,
I'm sorry. I think faster than I talk.
So
I was trying to catch up with my thoughts, and I think I just went off the rails and it went red. So I'm probably gonna. A lot of girls are probably gonna hate this now.
Oh no, whatever. I mean,
I had good intentions though.
I thought you were speaking up for women's rights there.
I thought so too.
I thought you were. So whatever. It doesn't matter.
Anyways, go.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Oh wow. All right,
or whatever.
Thanks for saving me.
No, my I don't know what my point was on that.
I'm sorry.
With the whole, I want to draw attention to it and draw attention to the absurdity of it, and I mean that's my whole goal is to say something so absurd that it makes sense. You know what I mean? If I can get to that point, kind of like how perfect real life example. We've gone so far with this trans issue and shit. They're replacing world records held by women or created by women. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Like so the fact that like I want to draw attention like that. Like, look at how absurd this shit is.
Like, look at the you want you
now
want your rights or you want whatever for us to believe in whatever. It's like, but look what it's doing though.
Exactly.
It's kind of throwing it's almost like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
It's like, so now you want to change something that's been in effect all these centuries. So it's like, okay, we'll allow it, and it's like then couple months or a year later, you're like, look at what we gave you, and look how it's turning out. Look how it's flipping on us. We're trying to help you out, and this didn't work out the way it did. Like, the whole trans thing. Now it's like everyone's fighting. Like, you should let trans, some guy that used to be, or some girl that used to be a guy. Now it comes as an Olympic sport. Now, and everyone's like, oh, that's not cool. Like, he or she's beating everybody, but little do we know, like, it's like she's pretty much a man.
I'm gonna throw women's shot put.
That's like the biggest one.
Like, that's gonna be, the thing.
Brute strength.
I joked back in the day. This has been, when this was first happening. Like, so long story short, some of these competitions that I compete in, without saying what the sport is,
What, in high school?
No, recently, currently.
You still do these things?
Yeah, but they're.
How old are you?
I'm 37. But so the sport I compete in, look, it's not physical. It's
intramural sports.
Yeah. Point being is they're really trying to get women in it. So they say, I'm going to give it away when I say. So they say, hey, for every 10 women that sign up, we're going to throw a certificate in for a free Glock. Right? And for the men, you guys just compete against each other. Mm-hmm. But for the women, you get like a 1 in 10 chance. I said, oh, shit, I'm going to identify as a woman.
So I get the Glock.
Exactly. It's a shooting competition.
Okay.
It's the GSSF. It's a Glock sport shooting.
And they can't say anything.
But, I mean, obviously I'm not going to say that.
Are you going to shave the beard, though?
No. Fuck it. That's how I feel that day. But my point, I'm not. I made that joke.
I get you. That's a good one.
I made that joke in registration line, and all the old people laughed, and it was fun. If I were to actually do it, like, you couldn't deny me.
Exactly.
A
lot of people would hate you.
Exactly. And I'd have a 1 in 10 chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Point being is that's eating itself alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that shit is coming full circle, and now, like, there's legitimate records that are being shattered because people transition and change things,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, but and that's the thing too, is like with all that stuff, it's very, like, I'm not against it. If you want to be, if you were a guy, or if you're a girl and you switch over to or guy, you switch over to a girl, and it's like, that's cool, but let's create your own league then.
Open.
Right.
And this goes back to my competition. So if you've competed, there's different classifications. So you have your stock class, then you have your open, right? Or your unlimited or whatever.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, fuck it, take steroids, dude.
Yeah, at least you know what you're getting yourself into.
Let's see what you can do.
That's why I've always said I think we need to have, like, Olympic steroids, where every athlete, like, that way you just know who the best of the best is, roided up too. Yeah. Like, I think that'd be so much fun.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's like the XFL, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, just brutal, like, fucking.
Yeah.
Just like no rules.
You have the men's sports, the women's sports, and then your open category. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go try it over there. And then see, that'll prove a lot of science and a lot of people wrong, as far as, like, no, just because they're guys and they transition to a woman, and they say a UFC fighter, right?
Yeah.
Say you have a trans UFC fighter. She fights an actual guy and she beats him up. Then it's like, that had nothing to do, with the situation.
Then that would just be like a guy beating up a guy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. The other way around.
Yeah.
Other way around.
If a woman beats up a guy.
No. What I'm saying is, like, so if the guy he transitions to a girl.
Yeah.
And then, I was gonna say, and then he fights another girl.
Oh yeah.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Right, and she beats the shit out of him. It's like, you can't use the whole he used to be a guy. It's like, because she just beat up a guy.
Yeah.
If you go back to that. So yeah, so they should have that. Because then we can see a lot of it, and it's like, so it's like, fuck it, just let it all happen.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you have like a wild card event.
Why not?
Because
because I always thought, do you watch UFC?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you believe at some point it's going to be guy versus girl?
I don't know. I mean,
or guy versus trans?
I think we'd have to see a lot of other sports.
Trans.
We'd have to see a lot of other sports integrated before we saw that.
But it's crazy because if we're so accepting of it and it's so much a movement, how come the big movement isn't allow that?
I don't think you'll see it in that arena, no pun intended, but at the UFC level, I don't think you're going to see that.
Dana White won't allow it.
I don't think you're going to see it in boxing. I don't think, if anything, you would probably see
some like Thailand shit.
I imagine like there'd be a push at, like, to see.
You know what I'm saying?
Like what happens when the WNBA wants to be in the NBA and they want to integrate?
Well, I don't know, but from what I heard, high school
Yeah.
Like a high school championship team
Yeah.
could beat the shit out of like a WNBA team.
Oh, what was
There's
that?
supposedly there's proof that soccer, for instance.
It was soccer.
There
I
was
think
a
that's what it was,
championship
yeah.
high school soccer team that beat a women's national league team, like the USA National League or something.
It was New
They beat them
Zealand,
like
I
3-1 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, there you go. That's your proof. Like, do you really need the
Yeah.
men, the pros to go along these pros? So no, I'm not making fun of them, but like that's true. It's been proven.
Yeah.
I think even what was it? Either Serena or Venus Williams had a tennis match against like one of the, like the top notch or like one of the like college like champions, and he beat the shit out of her
Oh.
like real quick, and it was just like it doesn't translate that way. We're not making fun of you guys. We're just saying like this at this point. It's like if a guy wants to transition to a girl and then go and compete with other women, of course he's gonna blow him out the
He has
water,
an
or she's gonna
advantage.
blow him
Yeah.
out the water.
And like, it's bizarro that we pretend that he, she, they, however they identify, I don't care.
Yeah.
That they have an advantage. Like it's bizarro that you're wrong if you mention that.
Yeah,
There's a biological advantage.
it's like so.
You
I'm
know?
not. We're not gonna talk about the elephant in the room,
Right.
You know?
You know, like you're racist. Race has nothing to do with it. Doesn't matter.
Sexist.
Yeah. No, but you know
Wait,
what I mean?
Is that even? It would be
Yeah,
sexist,
yeah,
right?
or whatever.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Homophobic, genderphobic, whatever.
but I always thought about that too. You know what's funny is I go back to some of Joe Rogan's old episodes and even like, maybe
Yeah.
recent, but he always says that he was like, I don't see why there shouldn't be ring card guys. And Joey D is like, what are you, a fucking faggot? Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, I'm serious, man. He's like, I truly believe, like, if everyone wants to do all these, like, movements, why can't there? What's wrong with having ring card guys? You know, boxing, UFC, all these, like, fighting events, you have the sexy girl in the bikini come out with the round number. And he's like, what's the big issue with having, like, some ripped-ass dude come out here with the round number for the girls and the guys? Maybe if it's 4 rounds every other round, or whatever it is. And it's like, that's true. It's like, I don't see why that would be an issue.
I mean, it's kind of like anything. I don't really care what you do. I mean, if that's what you want, go for it. I guess it's up to that event if that's their thing, And at some point, I guess if they're like, trying to play to a certain crowd, they may do that. But I mean, I've always kind of felt like I don't care what you do in your life. I don't care if you marry a fish. It's up to you. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's fucking weird, but like,
whatever.
let me,
you do your thing.
be on the podcast so we can talk about what it's like being married to a fish.
Right. Well,
It's like, I'm all about it. Like, I'll listen to you. I don't agree with it, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, but hey, fucking cool, man. Like, show me, like, how does that work?
I thought the same thing with like polygamy. Like, like, why do you care how many mistakes this guy makes? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Is that
whatever.
the multiple wives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
But I like, even then, like, that's another joke in itself is like polygamy. It's like everyone's like, who doesn't want to have 10 wives? It's like, do you really want 10 women, all different? Maybe they all mash up in their menstrual cycle or whatever, or even like they all like some have different like or different attitudes. Some could be very like, hey bitch, make me a sandwich, and some could be like, you don't talk to me that way, like some Mexican or some shit, some Hispanic woman, some fucking feisty girl. So it's like, do you really want that? Like, every time you go to bed with these people, or you're supposed to please all of them, and they all want different needs. Like, what the fuck? Does that really sound as great as it, you think it is?
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was cool at first. I was like, that's cool. Fucking
No, I don't.
me and 2 other girls, and like I'm married to both of them, and I could do whatever I want. I could have both of them, or I could have one a night. Like, but then I was like, nah, that's fucking terrible. I can barely deal with one.
Right, that's my point. Like, hey, you got 2 women. Anyways, it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Exactly.
But whatever. If that's your thing, I don't fucking care.
No.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, just like, have you seen that Netflix documentary? What's it called? I thought you were gonna say.
No,
yeah.
which one?
It was this. There were Mormons
In northern Arizona.
I think so. Yeah.
In like, it's called like Colorado City or something like that.
I don't.
I don't know. I know there is like a group in northern Arizona that still practices polygamy.
Yeah, and they're like, but they're I want to look up the next Netflix documentary, but when I looked it up last time, I couldn't find it.
No.
So I don't want to waste time. But actually, I'll look it up. Fucking.
You know what? Look it up. I gotta.
You gotta pee.
It's a podcast.
You gotta pee.
So I don't know. Do an ad read or something.
You gotta
right?
take a piss.
I gotta do this.
Yeah, I'll
I've
throw
got
an ad read right now.
I've got it.
Netflix. I put Netflix documentary morons. I meant Mormons. Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. That's what it is. Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey on Netflix. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna actually pause this and take a piss. Take a piss. All right, so we had to take a quick piss break. Once you brought it up, I was like, you know what, I gotta go too.
It was
so,
time. It was.
But back to what we were saying. So I found the show actually. So it's called Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. So it's about what is it? The FLDS, which is the Fundamental Church of
Latter-day Saints.
Yes, sir. Of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Right.
So they're a Mormon community, but I can't remember the name, but they're like Mormons, but they're like, so they wanted the version of we want multiple wives and all this stuff.
Right.
And so they kind of went off into their own thing, like a remix. But their shit kind of got all fucked up because they had one old guy that was like the main father, like the god.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, I allow, these guys to have, multiple. And I guess like the biggest thing was like the more wives you have, the bigger up you are. So he had like 40 or 20 some wives. I don't know how many kids. And his thing though was he wanted these people to, and like the more you watch it, you're like, this is just a cult.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't so much like a religion thing. It was more of like a cult, because I think when a cult is like, oh, there it is.
I thought you were done with that for that.
No,
session.
no.
Yeah.
I didn't. Now I remember. So like when you have a cult is more of like, do these things, like what I say,
Yeah.
and like, but it's based off this person, and they like twist the words of God or whatever. But so this one was like, this old guy was like, he was marrying girls, and like I think the youngest dude was like 18.
Okay, I thought.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, better than like 14.
Yeah, well, let me get to that.
Normally, there's like one of those in the mix, you know.
Well, let me get to that.
Yeah.
So then the thing I thought that was funny was he had always told these people he's immortal, like he's never gonna die.
Right.
Life happens.
You can't say that until you die.
Real life happens.
Who cares?
He gets old as fuck. He starts like passing out on these girls, and they're like, "Oh my god, like, daddy's sick. Zaddy's sick over here. We gotta take care of him. Sugar daddy's sick."
Yeah.
So then he dies, and they're like, "What? Like, he said he was gonna live forever." And so they're like, "Oh, he's lying." Nope. Then he has like this like favorite nephew that resembles him, and this motherfucker catches on that he's like, "Oh, he told him, that he's gonna live forever. Even when he dies, he's gonna come back in reincarnation of like another person." So this guy looks very identical. Like he looks like the younger version of this old
So he's
man.
gonna fuck all of his aunts.
So he comes and he's just like, "Oh, like I'm so and so, this old man passed away. Now he's inside of me. I'm reincarnated as a younger person. I'm ready to continue what I started." And so everyone's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." He
Right.
kind of looks like him. And so, but this guy had like a fucked up agenda. Like he was just like, "Yeah, like everything everything I used to say, that's cool, but we're going to switch it up." It started off as like every girl had to wear solid colors, and they could only wear like certain colors.
Right.
Before it was you could wear whatever you want. You had to wear a dress, but it could be like polka dot, it could be stripes, whatever.
We
you
gotta
want.
get him in control.
Yeah.
You gotta
And so he was like, "Nope." He's like,
get him
so
in line.
yeah. So he was like, now you have to wear certain colors, and then it's like now you have to follow these rules, and now this, and then and then it made a big turn when he started allowing.
Hey, I don't want to fuck my aunts anymore.
Yeah, so he took all those wives, and they were all like, "Yeah, this is still the same man, but like younger and more limber."
Daddy.
Yeah, and it was like so fucked up. And so then at some point he's just like,
Make me biscuits.
he's like, now I want, and they always said like the highest accomplishment as like a father, like a husband and wife, or like a mom and dad, is that this god or this guy that runs this whole shit would pick your daughter to marry him.
Yeah.
So one of them was like a 14-year-old girl. And they
Right.
and then the
Always
husband
are.
and when he did like the secret handshake or the hug, whatever the fuck it is that gives him the okay, like, you know, you're gonna marry me. The dad was ecstatic. He was like, "Oh my God! Like, I'm known as someone that the God wants to marry my daughter."
I'm the father-in-law to the prophet.
Yeah, the prophet.
Fuck yeah,
the prophet.
Fuck
yes.
yeah, buddy.
But everyone's like, but she's only 14. Even like she was like,
Whatever.
she was like,
Father-in-law to the prophet.
yeah,
That's my getting to heaven
Go do it.
free card. Yeah.
go and get it, girl.
Yeah. Whatever. Your problem now.
Yeah, like it was just, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are you allowing this? And then she was like, yeah, she's like, I was only 14. Like, I went from one day I was playing with, you know, my brothers and sisters. Next thing you know, like, I'm like married, I'm in a wedding gown, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's
So
fucked
like,
up, man. It's
this guy
disgusting.
just started going further and further, like, and it got bad. It got to the point where, like, I don't want to spoil it, but it got to the point where, spoiler alert, it got to the point where, like, he was like scamming them out of money.
No shit.
He was just like, you have to let me have sex, you know, have to marry your 14, 15-year-old daughter, and we're going to have sex, and it's going to be the biggest thing for you. And everyone was like, oh, okay, yeah, that works. That sounds about right. Because everything was going to be like, well, you're doing it for the prophet, you know?
Yeah.
And prophet's the second closest thing to God.
Hey, the prophet has to fuck your wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, and then like all the guys like, oh my God, thank you, you picked my wife. And imagine just like a fucking whole stadium of guys, and he just picks like, I want to fuck your wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, he picked me, he's gonna fuck my wife. Like, like, it's like, what? Like, how do you allow that? Or he's gonna fuck my daughter. Like, it's so fucked up. And but that was just like a whole
yeah.
thing. And what I was getting at was, before we took a piss break, what we were talking about was that, like, that's a point where it's like, it's religion, but at some point it's just fucked up. Like, the whole thing, yeah, having, you know, 20 wives, whatever, how many kids, that's cool. But like, once it turns into a cult-like thing where it's like, no, you got to give me this to be able to even have the idea of want to go up there, or you need to give me money, sex, like all this stuff. At some point, you're like, how does no one realize that what he's doing is wrong?
Well, I mean, how's it any different than like Scientology or Amish or whatever? They have their own community, you know, they have their own inner circle. But
No, and I get that.
yeah,
Because, and that's the cool thing about this documentary, is it goes to the point where, like, a lot of them escaped from it. A lot of them realized what was going on.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, like, the sons and daughters of these adults that still, to this day, still believe that stuff. And they're like, I haven't talked to my mom and dad in however many years, because they're still in the FLDS or whatever. And funny enough, I talked about it a little bit. What?
dude.
What?
So I don't know. Does the podcast like go out and like do like on scene like investigative, you know, like stories and things?
What podcast?
This podcast, Slap on the. I mean,
Oh.
you should go to Arizona. Is it Colorado City in Arizona or Arizona City in Arizona? I think it's Colorado City in Arizona. It's like the northern tip of Arizona.
No, I never, no.
It's where this polygamy family lives. I mean, you should go.
Oh.
You should go do it out there. I
Or
don't
bring
know.
them to the podcast? How much do you
Go.
think they would charge?
I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's got to be somebody to have a story. You know.
They're like, how old's your daughter? I don't have one. They're
Yeah,
like,
the
"I won't-
UPS
I won't do
driver
it."
or something. You know, there's got to be somebody that has some cool stories. I'm
No.
just saying, we're in Arizona.
We don't even
You
open
could
these.
go like within a within a couple hours drive, you could be up there and hey, cheers,
Cheers.
buddy. Within a couple hours, you could be up there talking to polygamists.
You know what? And that's funny you brought that up, because we were sitting outside. So if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been to the Odelay Collective Studios, outside the parking lot area, you can see across the street we have a psychic.
Right?
And we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Like how psychics are something that it's like, a psychic is like a magician.
How? Yeah.
Like who, not even that, because a magician, it's like you want to go to a show and you want to keep going to be like, how the fuck did you do that? No, a psychic is one of those things that it's like
It's like a
how is that
barber.
still around? No,
A barber that doesn't cut your hair, like it just tells you shit. I don't know. It's like, how is it a thing?
No, but what I'm getting at is like
Yeah.
when you like, a psychic is one of those things where it's like, how is that still a business?
Yeah.
How do people still have their own psychic readings? But what it is like we said, they don't have clients. They have one person that goes in for the experience, and they may get, out of 10 people, one person may be like, that did happen. You know, it somehow worked out. And it's almost like if you keep throwing like, you know, a piece of paper into like a straw, eventually like out of 1,000 pieces of paper, one of them's going to hit in the straw. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be like, that did happen, just like you said. And you have that maybe reoccurring customer. But as we were talking, you want to say something?
No, I'm saying it's like your horoscope. Like they're so vague. They're all kind of right.
They could have read the horoscope for the day, like we get on Instagram.
Okay, I guess it's kind of right. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with the psychic.
Yeah, it's like there's a full moon today. It's like, yeah, you know, my back does kind of hurt. It did say that in my.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
There you go.
You know, like
there you go with your fucking sayings again.
Yeah.
All day, this guy since I've been talking to him, he just has these fuck. What was the other one you said?
Never trust a prostitute as a midget.
That wasn't. No, the 6 foot apart or 6 fucking yards away from another person.
Oh! The theory. The 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is what it is. Is within 6 people you know Kevin Bacon. And
what we were getting at was the show we were putting on with George Perez. Is he was saying like, you know, you're within 6 feet of someone that at them
6 degrees,
6 degrees, 6 degrees.
6 links away. He is, and we're all within, you know, like within
5.
one contact.
One contact,
of people that we really like. Comedians that are. I mean, I don't even. I just love to laugh, Jordan. Like if it's a scary movie, fuck it. I'd rather watch a Dave Chappelle comedy special that I've seen 1,000,000 times than a fucking new scary movie. You know what I mean? Like,
same.
I would rather laugh.
Same.
So,
when I tried watching a movie and I'm like, this isn't doing it for me. It's like, you know, I'm gonna go back to Dave Chappelle's old set, or I'm gonna go back to Bert Kreischer's, you know, The Machine or something. You know, like
So to be within a reach of somebody that's a headliner, that's at the Comedy Store. I've
George
paid
Perez.
to go to the Comedy Store and see those shows. Like, this guy is a paid regular. He's on the wall there. Like, and the fact that he's coming down here, like, he's not coming down here for me or for you, but he's coming down here for like his fans, like, because he realizes, hey, you know what, this place is an opportunity to have a show, and you know, as you come through Yuma, you could fill it up. Yeah,
and he was super cool. Like, actually, like when we were talking the other day.
He mentioned you. Like, he called you out on his live.
Well, we were me and Cody have been talking a while now, and which I totally love. Like, it every time we text, it's cool to see you text me in it, but also it's, for me, it's progression towards our dream. You know what I'm saying? Putting on a show, talking about, you know, bits we have, like whatever it is. And so, anyways, he's messaging me and he's like, yo, like, we're talking about George Perez starting about the show on the 30th of July. And he's like, George Perez is on live right now. So I go hop on Instagram and he's on, and I'm like, oh, fucking perfect. And I see, you know, he has like all these people viewing it and these people messaging him, and he's replying to almost every single one. So I just kind of threw a message out there and I was like, hey, like, can't wait to, you know, July 30th, can't wait to share the stage with you. Thank you again for coming out to like such a small town. And he saw it. Yeah. And he acknowledged it, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Jordan, you're gonna do some stand up with me? Fuck yeah, that's cool, man. Like, he's like, hey, by the way, like, where's the venue? Like, if you don't mind, like, can you DM me? And I was like, all right, bro, I got you. I DM'd him right away, and I was like, hey, bro, like, me and you know, Cody's been putting together, so me and him been talking, but we don't have like a set venue yet. But when we do, I'll let you know. And he's like, all right, cool, man. Like, let's fucking do this thing. And like, he was just so cool about it.
He was super cool. Dude, the fact that he called it out, like, on his podcast, like, he said, hey, I have a show coming up in Yuma. That's right. And more details coming. Like,
yeah. And
dude, because at the end of the day, I mean, I bug a lot of comedians that come through here to just do a show. And he's like, yeah, I got fans there. I got people there. We'll stop. We'll do a show. It'll be, you know, a good time. That being said, like, the fact that he, you know, acknowledged that and he wants to come, like, dude, I can't ask for anything more. Yeah. And I just want to do it. I just want to have more people come out and appreciate and enjoy comedy in Yuma.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping the more people that come out to a George Perez show will also say, you know what, maybe I can do that. I'll come out to an open mic night at Brewers, or I'll follow, you know, whatever. I'll try this stuff out. I'm hoping there's more of this, you know, activity that grows. And damn it, Jordan, it's so far it's working. So far it's working. Mm-hmm. You know, like,
It's like you
Dude.
made a blueprint, and as you're following it, you're like, oh,
Knock on wood.
I know, knock on wood.
I know, right?
You're going like through the steps, and you're like, this should be happening next, and you do that, and you're like, yep, the next step is happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but going back to the 6 degree rule.
Yeah. 6
What we're
degrees,
saying is
yeah.
like we're gonna have George Perez here, who has been on Joe Rogan. He's good friends with Joey Diaz, and I told you, I was like, that makes sense when you explain the whole 6 degree rule. I was like, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think he's gonna come here? We're as close to this person. We're probably gonna have a few conversations with him, take some pictures, whatever, and thank him for coming out. And at the same time, it's like this guy that we're taking pictures with in his phone right now has Joey Diaz's number.
Yeah.
Like
And-
one of a top-notch comedian, actor, like that's how close we are to that. And so that 6 degree rule, I was like, I never heard of that, and that's fucking awesome. And it's cool because it's so true.
I mean, how amazing! Like, if we're just like throwing things out there and spitballing, like our dream, our vision board or whatever, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
How amazing would it be to actually have a spot where Yuma would be a Wednesday show, a Thursday show for people coming through?
Yeah.
And maybe it's
To-
people.
Yeah,
So-
just to practice some stuff and try it out on the weekend once they get to Phoenix or San Diego. Or
That's it, man. Like, so all these national headliners, they all practice stuff at, I don't want to say open mics, but they drop in. And I wanted to say something earlier about when I did the show in San Diego. My first show was here at Icons, and then pandemic happened, and then it took 2 years, and then I did an open mic at the American Comedy Company in San Diego.
Mhm.
That
That's
to
a
me-
huge step.
dude. It was so
That's almost like a rebirth, though, because you said it took, 2 years? You did one, pandemic hit, nothing was happening, and then 2 years later, you go to your first show, and it's in San Diego, a place away from your hometown, way away, and you just do open mic, and how did it go, though?
it was amazing. Like, I had a great set. Like, it went like, that's the set I still share with people,
Okay.
and it still says my second open mic. But my point is, the dude that hosted it, Nathan, shout out to Nathan, he's a pug guy,
Shout out, Nate.
so he's a good guy. If you're a pug people, you're good people.
Yeah, shout out, Pug.
My point is, there you go.
R.I.P. Buddy.
Pug people, weirdos. My point is,
A face only a mother could love.
right, they're
That's what they
adorable.
say.
They're so ugly, they're cute.
I fucking love them.
They're
Anyways, keep going. San Diego.
All right, my point is, I don't remember what my point was with that, Jordan. God
You went and did your second show in San Diego, and this guy, Anthony.
Yeah, Nathan.
Nathan.
My point is that you do the set and something about fuck. I totally forgot my train of thought. Whatever. Whatever.
But no, what I was asking you though was how did that first set in San Diego go?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
And just being away from a hometown in like a bigger city, someplace that like you would assume that people that live in that around that city.
That's it.
Oh, you
So I didn't I was gonna not do it. I was gonna check it out. But the fact that somebody said, "Hey, we'll get you in. You traveled 3 hours. Of course, you'll get 3 minutes."
That's what it was. The phone
Yeah.
call. Mm-hmm.
But when I went up to the mic, he's like, "Oh, we got a pop in." He called me a pop in. A pop in is like a real comedian that stops in and does a set.
Yeah, like people know who the set
Yeah.
list is, but it's like, oh, by the way, we have a pop in. It's like, who could it be? Is it Dave Chappelle?
Right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that
Is it Tom Segura? Is it Joe Rogan? Like,
right?
what is it?
No.
No.
Right? It's just some fucker from Yuma.
But he really built you up, yeah.
So the fact that you had that experience, like of course you got to do it.
Mhm.
So that's where I my second set came from, was just the fact that I kind of built up that idea that, hey, Nathan gave me a spot already. I have to show up and do it.
Yeah. Someone showed you that they also believe in you, and that's the thing I got from you and Felipe as far as that my first show. You guys gave me like some good notes, some good praise and stuff, and like you guys were really like, yo, you should really come out next time. And when you invited me to the airport one, I did the airport one, and then we did the Red Moon again, then we did airport, and like from then on, like you and Felipe have always like shown me, like you've always been like another, like obviously my family has,
Right.
but someone that I have no idea who they are, they're like, man, like yo, like keep coming. Like you know, like they see a potential in me. And you know, I don't know how it works in comedy. Like as far as like just because someone isn't, if they're not funny, but yet they're consistent. Like every time there's a show they perform, but they're not good at it. Then they also get the praise. Or it's like we see you have consistency. You want it every show. There's availability. You take advantage of it, and at the same time, you make us laugh a little. So it's like you have something. So just seeing seeing some people that I don't know show me that, I'm like, you know what? I think I got something here. And so thank you to you and Felipe, and like just that alone has like kept me kind of going along.
I was gonna make a joke like I want you to keep coming out. You know, so I'm gonna keep being nice, but no, like for
you're like as long as you come out, then we have shows.
I need 3 people to sign up. No, but seriously,
I'm using you the same way.
No, no, seriously, you do check all those boxes when you think about it. You do check all those boxes, and it's important. You know, it's important to come out and to try it.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I appreciate it once again. But one thing actually I think we should get into that we should have started off in the beginning. At what point did you want to be a comedian? Like how long has this been?
Like forever, I think. I mean, did you ever watch SNL or as a kid? Did you ever watch stand up?
See, so I have a different story. Okay. That's the thing is like I assume that people that want to do stand up, they've always wanted this always been a dream of theirs. At some point when they were a younger kid, they saw a comedian that they wanted to be like. I didn't have that because growing up, me wanting to do stand up probably came like 2015.
Okay.
2014, 2015. Before that, I think the biggest thing we ever had like close to like following comedians was I remember at my grandma's house, we would make it a big event. I don't know if you remember, but when George Lopez would do an HBO special.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that was like one of the biggest things was like HBO specials. And that was like equivalent to like Netflix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they would do the first viewing was always a live viewing. It was like a live event on HBO. It was like a DirecTV event, I think. And so we would all pitch in. We'd all go to my grandma's and we all buy the pay-per-view event. And they'd put the TV. They'd run the cords from the inside through a window out to the backyard. Put a TV out there.
Motherfucker, I have a joke about that. I think you've heard my joke about that.
I think so. Yeah. But this is real life. Like, I'm serious. Like, this is the closest I ever got to, like, like stand up. And I was like, this is cool. Was, like, seeing George Lopez doing that and is doing a stand. And, like, the whole family, we were having a barbecue. Like, it was like the Super Bowl for us.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what the fuck? Like, and I think that was maybe the closest I ever got. After that, I didn't really watch Saturday Night Live. I didn't watch a lot of these, like, very hilarious movies that, like, you know, Chris Farley was in, you know, all the big names that were like, you know, comedy. I watched a few Jim Carrey movies because I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. But as far as stand-up goes, I didn't watch much. Okay. I watched the Chappelle Show. And so at some point I was just like, I got a lot of those, you know, man, you're really funny, like all this stuff. And it got in my head to the point where I was like, I started seeing some stand-up and I was like, that would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't want to brighten someone's day? Who doesn't want to make them laugh if they're having a shitty day, like, and they come to your show at the end of the night and like you make them laugh, like they're like, you know, today sucked, but like at the end of the night it was cool. Like I had a few drinks in me, watched some guy make me laugh, like, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt that way. So that's why I'm saying, like, I didn't come from since I was a little kid I've always wanted to do this type thing.
Okay. I mean, I remember watching comedy. I remember honest to God, like, so my brother is 8 years older than me and he would bring in. You remember like Hastings? Remember renting?
Yes,
videos?
I remember Hastings.
Remember Block?
I know I'm young, but not that young.
No, but I mean,
I'm like that perfect middle age where I know like the transitions.
Yeah.
But yes, I remember Hastings. So, I fucking love Hastings. I mean, yeah.
So I remember when he rented, you know, Sam Kinison. So the first jokes, I remember when he rented Eddie Murphy. You know,
which one was it? Raw? Was like Raw?
Yeah, the red jumpsuit. You know.
The Michael Jackson suit. Yeah.
Right. So point being is, the first joke I remember, I was thinking about it earlier, is Sam Kinison. He had a joke about Sammy Land having a big titty ride. Point being was, I must have been 5 or 6 or something like that.
And it was funny to you.
I mean, I guess so. But I remember just stand up from that point forward. I remember VH1, the VH1 comedy, you know, specials they had.
No, see, I don't remember any of that. No.
Oh, but
I remember like
I always got into that.
Yeah.
You know, over the scary shit. Like I give a fuck about a horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's cool, but I'd rather laugh than cry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
I'd rather fucking laugh my ass off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
But and then so also, what's your? Because I've always wondered, you know, like I don't know how comedy goes as far as like is comedy a hobby, or is comedy like something that you pursue in hopes that that's the goal is to get paid and you live your life off that money, and at the same time all you do, your only job is to do stand up and you're considered a comedian.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, if we could
is
do that.
is that your goal, or are you just doing this just because it's fun?
No, I totally. Well, I think we should live a life that makes you happy, right? You shouldn't get up and go to work to a job that you fucking hate and deal with people you don't like. I mean, I think you should, live a life that makes you comfortable and fun. And that being said, yeah, if we can make a living off stand up, yeah. And so when I go back to that Tracy McDonald conversation, hour and a half, she gave me like 36 bullet points of like good ideas, and one of which was, dude, if you have 30 minutes of clean material, clean stuff that you can present in a corporate setting or a high school or a college or whatever, you'll always have work. So,
But-
Jordan, what you're talking about,
Mhm.
dude, you're like a third of the way there. You know what I mean? Like, you got a third of that.
But like going back to the whole, if you have
Well, maybe not the cum stuff and the sex stuff, but you know what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
Otherwise, yeah, okay.
that's where I don't know how to draw the line.
You're an
like,
eighth of the way there.
that's what I'm still working my way, but
Yeah.
and I don't know how to read the rooms. I don't know like these jokes aloud. Like, but I haven't gotten to a point where I haven't gone to a venue where someone's like clean jokes only. And that's the thing I want to
Oh man,
I want to ask
my
you.
first one was.
Clean jokes only. They told you.
Yeah, he told me like that when I walked in. He's like, "Hey, it's a family crowd in here. It's just clean jokes." I'm like, can I say cum? No, don't do that. Shit.
Could you say like fuck and stuff?
You know what's funny is actually I have it. I have all my notes.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
But long story short, like I plan for a Kill Tony set, like because
What's a Kill Tony set?
so you know Kill Tony, right?
Yes.
The show. So at this time, Kill Tony was happening in Hollywood. I'd been to the Comedy Store. I don't know how many times, but point being is, yeah, I'll end up at the Comedy Store on a Monday. I should throw my name in the bucket.
Yeah.
Well, since then, Kill Tony's moved to Texas and yada yada. So at that time, though, like my original notes were off like a Kill Tony. Like I had an Excel sheet and a Word document.
Oh.
Anyways, so my notes from that night from 2020 were on a Kill Tony sheet. But point being is, I went with things about veterinarians, libraries, birthdays, and domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I did not curse that 3 minutes. And
Even with domestic violence.
no, there's no cursing on that one. But point being was, that first set, he was like, "Hey, don't curse. You can't." And there were other people before, like they were saying things, they were
They were hitting
making
the line.
dick references and things like
Yeah.
that. And this guy was over because I was sitting at the bar that night. He was like, "Oh, stop doing that! Stop doing that!" And it's like, dude. All right, so fast forward to pandemic happens. I go, "Hey, will you do some open mics?" He goes, "No, people were not taking it serious." "Hey, man, will you do some open mics? They'll help feed the comedy community because you do comedy shows."
Yeah.
And he kept saying, no, I don't want to do them. Well, we need the open mics to feed the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all part
Get
of
them
it.
interested. Yeah.
And he kept saying no. Well, finally, we found a place that would do it. But my point was, you kind of have to be able to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that was my thing when I went to Brewers. I said, "Hey, can we have freedom of speech? Can we say anything we want?" He's like, "Of course."
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool then.
But doesn't
know.
the Brewers Airport specifically, doesn't it, like when I go and when I see the crowd, I'm like, oh, okay, like I should probably go with this joke instead. Like, does that kind of push you towards that?
You know what though? But that's a
Reading
lesson
the
on
crowd?
you. So it's two things. So when the club owner or the bar owner, restaurant owner says, "Hey, don't use that language," like now they're limiting you.
Yeah.
But when you go, "Oh shit, this is a room of gray-haired people. I should probably not say those kids are fucked up. I'll say those kids are screwed up." You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
Because I realized I did that in one of my jokes where I say, it's really easy. Actually, fucking Tracy McDonald gave me this tip. She's like, "Dude, you use fuck too much." the joke is, it's really hard to screw up a kid. It's really easy to mess up, or it's really easy to mess up a kid. It's really hard to screw up a dog, or whatever. Point being,
Fuck a dog.
fucking beers. Anyways, it's hard to mess up a dog. You got to be a piece of shit to mess up a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You have pugs.
Yeah.
Pugs are fucking nothing but love.
Yep.
How do you fuck that up?
Yeah, the minute you like spank them for peeing, then it's like now you're their worst enemy.
Yeah, I feel bad.
You lose the love. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
You got to be a piece of shit to fuck up a dog. Fuck up a kid, super easy.
Yeah.
My point is, when I went into Brewers that night you hosted, I see all these gray hairs and these old people. Okay, maybe I don't say fuck so much. Maybe I say mess up a kid. Maybe I say screw up a kid.
Oh, I see.
Screw up a dog. So
you go with the same joke, you just switch up the lingo.
But it's different when I have that freedom to make that choice versus a club owner saying, hey, don't curse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Granted, he was right. You shouldn't curse. There's a bunch of 65-year-old people. Don't turn them off before you get started.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But then you have those stories where, like, I've heard, like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, where they go to events where they have that. They're like, oh, this is a clean show only.
Yeah.
No cursing, no sex talk, whatever. But then they still do the show, and they're like, I don't, they didn't pay me, and they were gonna pay me, and I fucked up, and I went against the rules, and I told my dirty jokes, and everyone laughed, everyone loved it, everyone was okay with it, but the owner did ask me not to do that, and I ended up not getting paid. He's like, but it didn't matter. It was like the main thing was getting the laughs, and so that's why I was like, I'm getting at, is like at some point, where do you have to limit yourself? Like, I understand the whole, if you have dirty jokes, you have clean jokes, you can get a lot further. Because you have more opportunities. But, I'm saying, like, don't you want to stay true to who you are? Because that's when I go back to the whole thing, like, when I would hang out with people and like as my friends and my family, and they'd be like, man, you're funny, or you're this way, you're like goofy and like outgoing. I want to be that same person on stage. So if in person you see me and I'm talking about pussy and, fucking my girl from behind and the dog's licking my leg and I start, then I come. It's like,
yeah,
that's the jokes that made them laugh.
But that's not what you're going to use on the Tonight Show. That's not your.
But that's what I'm saying. Like maybe, but then like, do I? How many huge comedians right now haven't been on the Tonight Show or the Jay Leno show?
Right.
And they're huge because they kept true to who they are.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking earlier about like,
and it's also easier. It's like, well, I've prepared for this. These are the way I wrote the jokes. Now you want me to switch them up with a little like less cursing or less, pussy or whatever. But it's like, but that's who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And I get the whole thing. You get more opportunities, but at what cost though? At that point, you're changing who you are for more opportunities. And it's like, but then you're losing who you really are. And it's like, at this point, are you really doing this for fun? Are you really doing this because you enjoy doing it? Or are you doing it because now you make more money because you have more opportunities because you have these safe jokes is what I would call them.
If that's where you're at, you're in a good position. You know what I mean? If that's where you're, I mean, the way I see it is, man, if you have to adapt, cool. That's just kind of like with anything. You have to just go with the punches, right?
Yeah.
So you should be able to adapt. You should be able to flow. Hey, I need you to do 20. I know I asked you to do 10. I need you to do 20. The other guy didn't show up. Okay, well, I mean, go with the punches. Hey, I need you to be clean. Okay, I can do that too. I mean, so a mark of a professional should be able to adapt to anything in any situation and be able to fill in. Hey, our headliner didn't show up or is running late. Go up there, So I don't know. I hear you on that. I want to, and really like, that's when I said like I want to keep doing. I want to keep doing abortion jokes. I don't want to keep doing abortion jokes, but I have jokes that reference that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I don't want to be told not to be able to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of my other jokes are tied into that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like when you do your set, you kind of have to have good segues. You can't just, I mean, you kind of can. I've seen comedians do where they talk 1 minute talking about cars, next thing you know they're talking about relationship status. You know, and it's like, how do those two come together? It doesn't, and that's what I was always focused on, was like, how do you continue to flow it? Some don't do that. They'll take that good pause where it's a good laugh, and then they'll just be like, you know, the other day, me and my girl were talking about this, and, you know, it's really changed our relationship, and you're just like, okay, now I'm into a new bit. But it works when on paper, you know, your notes, whatever, your jokes you've written out, you make them not flow, but at least it makes sense, you know, from what you said in the beginning to the end, connects in a way, you know? And so it's very hard when someone tells you to take out a certain part from the middle, because that kind of ruins everything. It's like, well, you just kind of took out the bridge now.
Yeah. Fuck you, Supreme Court.
Yeah, exactly.
Just run my whole setup.
Exactly.
Hey, conservatives, we have to agree abortion's here to stay. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I guess we don't now.
But you don't.
I'm kidding.
No, but you don't talk about how you got to that point.
Yeah. But the whole setup, I just assumed that would always be a thing. Now is not the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's always something I've always like kind of battled with myself, as far as like, okay, I feel like now we're at a point where we're barely at square one, or zero, if you want to say. So it's like, from this point on, how do we want to be known who we are?
We're in our first semester.
Are we gonna get big though, to the point where it's like, oh, now we're, you know, a lot of people have been listening to us, like, now we got to switch up, we got to be safe, and we got to be careful what we say? It's like, or are we gonna go back to our original ways, the way we became as big as we are, based off the material that we used? Do we keep doing that, or do we switch it up, and it's like, now I want to please this crowd, the non-cursing crowd, or the clean crowd?
You know, I guess
just to stay relevant in the comedy realm.
Yes to all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they say, hey, Jordan, we need you to play this corporate retreat.
Yeah.
But please, you know, we're a pharmaceutical company, so please don't talk about whatever. Addiction.
Yeah.
You know, because we get people addicted to our scripts. So just don't. I mean, yeah, you're gonna take the gig and you're gonna carve that part out of your set.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I guess that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I see it as being another tool in the toolbox. Like, I was really, as much as like I wanted to curse that first night on March 13th, 2020, whenever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do this. I'll go clean. And I went with things. And one of the things I went with, I hate this joke, but it's like, there's a security guard at the library. Why? Everything's free. You know? Yeah. And seriously, everything is free. You can rent it for free. Why the fuck is there a security guard there?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we thinking? But the old people, they got that because they go to the library.
Yeah.
You know?
And not only that, but like back in their day, probably that was the thing. Because nowadays, no one really goes to the library.
No, they go there. I know them.
No, but I'm saying nowadays, like us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, younger generations don't go to libraries as much. So back in the day, that was a thing. That's where you didn't have internet. Your internet was the library.
Well, I know that crowd at Icons in March of 2020, they were, I want to say, like, so marketing groups, you know, 55 and up. Dude, these guys were 65 and up. They were old people. You know, it was March. It was, you know, snowbirds were still here. It was a packed room, but they were old. So I knew, like, I had to say things that wouldn't offend them. So I talked about algodonas, you know? Everybody knows algodonas.
The main reason they're here is so they can get the prescription cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So point being is, like, it was kind of cool to be able to go, okay, I'll adapt it to that. Because what I was going to lead with was more of, like, Kill Tony stuff. Was, like, more, you know, like, edgy, you know, fast stuff. But what I ended up going with was, you know,
more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about a vet. I talked about, like I said, algodonas. I talked about the other stuff.
Stuff that they can relate to.
Yeah, the library, you know.
Yeah.
And that actually worked. I'm like, oh, okay. So I learned. And, like, as much as it sucked to be told, hey, you can't say curse words, it was great to be able to learn from that experience.
How hard was it, though? Like, when you would want to be like, and then the
you know what the other thing was?
Like, do you have that at all?
No, but
like, you almost wanted to say a curse word, but you caught yourself.
I didn't, but I realized, like, at some point I knew, like, because he's like, oh, take 5 minutes. I had like 2.5, dude. I realized I'm not going to try and like keep going. When I'm done, I'm done.
I get you.
And I got this from Bob's Burgers.
The show,
dude. Yeah,
the cartoon show.
It's fucking hilarious.
It really is. Yeah,
it's comedians.
And I'm not into adult humor, adult cartoon humor. Like, I don't really care for Family Guy, South Park. Like, and I know they're big things like Simpsons. Like, it's not certain things. Like, yeah, they're pretty funny. Like, oh, that was a good one, or the situation they're put in. But Bob's Burgers, maybe, and that's the thing. Maybe I just need to give Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy like a chance.
Yeah.
But no, Bob's Burger. I remember I would just watch it, and I was like, man, this just funny. Like, have you seen the movie?
No, have you?
No, I haven't.
I want to. I hear it's great.
Yeah,
it's just all funny jokes.
And that's the thing too, is like it's a big thing because I've seen Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
where they dress as the sister. What's her name? That she tries to twerk.
Oh, I don't know, like Tina or Louise,
Tina.
Or, yeah,
I think it's Tina. And she does the whole. She tries to twerk, and she's just like flexing her back.
Yeah,
like I've seen those videos, and because of that show, I know what they're talking about, and it's so funny.
Well, I've always known that term. That's my time. But when Tina said it, or Louise, or one of them,
in a normal conversation,
well, it was they were like doing a stand-up set on that show, and that's my time. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to end with. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to say my 5 or 4 jokes, whatever it is, and then end with I take that back. All right, your mom's house podcast. That's where you learn, all the basics about stand-up.
Yeah.
You don't wear sandals because people don't want to see your feet
or smell them.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I remember Christina P saying, "You move that fucking mic stand out of the way. You get up on stage, and the first thing you do is you move that out of the way." And I remember seeing so many people not do that. And like I remembered, okay, I want to move the mic stand. I want to say joke 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want to say, that's my time.
You went with the rule book.
Yeah, and I did that, and I'm like, cool, I'm done. And I was happy. It was like a good set. I'm happy with it. And then pandemic happened 2 years later. Nothing. I just wrote for 2 years.
Back to ground zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's the whole mic stand thing. Now that you say it, now that you mention it, I saw Saturday's show.
Yeah.
One of the comedians actually grabbed it and was like, I'm going to put this back here.
Yeah.
And like he made it at a point to move it back, which I didn't catch it at the point. Like, what's the big deal? But now that you're saying that, I guess that's like a rule that they follow, like in the comedy world.
Yeah, let's talk about mic stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Do you know any comedians that keep the mics on the stand?
I mean, if that's your style, or if that's what you want to do. So this is so great that we're doing this podcast after the 2 shows back to back. So
yeah, we've had somewhat experience.
Yeah.
We can talk about them. Yeah.
So the Friday show, the guy, some of the people sat on a stool, to be seen in the lights and all that. But they had a straight mic stand, just a regular round base mic stand that went straight up. I believe on the Saturday show we had like a tripod mic stand that had like an angle. It's for like a guitar, so it'd be like this. It'd have an angle here, and so you could play guitar and still have a mic in front of you. Yeah. Not ideal for stand-up because you just want one solid fucking thing to move around. Yeah. You don't want something that's wobbly. Point being is, from your mom's house, Christina P, she mentioned, dude, that's where she mentioned like, oh, if you don't have an open mic, go start one. Go find a bar. Go start one. Go do something. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I guess that's what we got to do.
Yeah. If there's no opportunity, to create an opportunity.
Yeah. You want an open mic. You want stage time. Go make it. So when they said, hey, go make stage time, or go try this. Yeah, we try it out. Yeah. Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh, go back to the mic stand.
The mic stand. Yeah. So the straight up mic stand, Christina P said, move it the fuck out of the way. Get it out of your. And I noticed some people don't do that. Some people do. When we first started this podcast, you mentioned we're talking about the music. Yeah. I think so something I've learned from Kill Tony is you don't run to the stage. You take your time. And when you get there, you're comfortable. You know what I mean? You don't run to the stage and you're out of breath. So I think the music's really important. So we should make a conscious effort on all these, brewer open mics. Yeah. To just have 30 seconds of music to let somebody get up there, get comfortable, move the mic stand, and then start, versus because there's times where we've got up there and like here's like I've taken the mic from your hand or vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like awkward.
Not awkward, but
I think it's an awkward time.
it feels like you're going right there versus start when you feel like you're comfortable.
There's no 3, 2,
yeah,
go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was more of a just like 3, 2, 1, go. Here you go. Hand the mic. Boom. Joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get
So
you.
I really like this idea of maybe having our own like iPad, iPhone, iPod, whatever, just for music.
Yeah.
And then that would kind of give us the time to get up there. It plays your music. It winds down, and then you grab the mic and you say, "Hey, I'm Jordan." Then blah 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 blah. You go into your set versus hey, here's Jordan, and then here's the mic. You know what I mean?
And it's like, okay, now the light's on me.
It gives you just a little bit more time to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Just that 5 seconds, I think, might make somewhat of a,
Yeah, well, I mean, we still have a lot of time left, so I don't know if you guys come out to the Crest on July 30th.
July
We're gonna
30th.
have George Perez as a closer.
It's announced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me and you are going to be openers.
It's a closer. It's a headliner. It's a show.
Headliner.
Yeah, we got George Perez on our show.
Why is it a headliner? My bad.
It's his show.
Wrong verbiage.
We're on his show, which is
There you go.
a fucking
Huge step.
thing in like a few
For
months of progress. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
But what I was saying was maybe at that show,
we're freshmen.
we're freshmen.
We're going to our homecoming dance with a cheerleader.
There it is.
That's what it is.
With the senior.
Fucking senior cheerleader.
As a freshman. But no, what I was saying was for that one, you're putting that one on. Let's try the whole music thing. Maybe we can try to figure out
without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes oldies, he likes funk. He
There
likes
you
that
go.
kind of stuff.
So we'll do
I'm saying for the open mics, we should have our own.
No, definitely. So for instance, let's just say a July 30th show.
Yeah.
Where there's 4 of us. There's me, you, his opener, and then he's headlining.
Yeah.
That's easy. Have a DJ, someone that's like, all right, for Jordan Tondo play this song, and then
It's
Cody
Raining Man.
Beeson play a song. Yeah, Raining Man.
Right. Is that what? Okay.
Just throw me off.
Whatever.
You would,
No, I'm not going to do that to you.
And so then,
What would your song be?
you know what? I have a playlist of music that I listen to before I go up on set.
I was going to ask you what you do. What's your ritual?
So normally, ideally, I would like it to where if it's it would be a Friday night or a Saturday. We talked about that. I like the 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock shows, the late night shows.
Okay.
Just because you have, especially like on a Friday, if there's like a 9 o'clock show, it's like cool. I can get off work. Say I get off work at 3:34. I'm able to take a nap, and then have a few, have like a drink or two while I'm at home in my environment. I go over my set one more time of what I'm gonna do that night. Then I have an hour left. Normally for me, my girl takes about an hour or 2 to get ready. So
Who takes longer? You
my
or
girl.
him?
My
Oh
girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'll get dressed. I'll look over my set. I'm like, okay. I'm confident. I know I'm gonna say tonight. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but this is what I want to say. So once that's set, then I have a drink or 2, and I kind of pregame, and then I'll play either Call of Duty or I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll watch like music videos, get myself psyched.
Yep.
And then when she's ready, she's always my DD. So by then I'm already been drinking. So she drives me to the area, and on the way there, I'm playing my playlist. She already knows. On the way to to the show, I have to I'm just gonna turn it up. She's not gonna talk to me. She's not if her parents call it, she can't answer.
She knows her place.
She knows.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like I play my playlist and I listen to the music I want, and literally, no lie, we'll get there, we'll park, and I'll switch it to one more song. I'll be like, just you can get out. Just let me sit in the car for like a minute, 3 minutes, finish this song, and then I walk out. I'm like, I'm ready, and then I go, and then that's when I start embracing the whole atmosphere of the show.
Okay.
So that's kind of my thing.
I hear you. I do something similar, but I don't have my girl involved. I like to just sing in my car alone, like as loud as possible.
I do that
like
with her
my
there.
Favorite music. Oh, you sing?
I
didn't know you were singing.
I
to
get
it.
into it. Like I have like Drake on my playlist. I
Yeah.
have Justin Bieber. Like I have so many songs. I like Diplo. I
Okay.
have Dylan Francis. I have like all these like different people. And like I said, that's the thing is like I've already I know I pregame, so I just to ease the nerves. And then I'm like, well, babe, you're driving, so she drives me there,
Yeah.
and the whole time The rule is I play whatever song I want and I sing to it
Okay.
as if you're not in the car.
That's what's up. So I
Yeah.
have a theory, like that opens up your vocal cords. That kind of like gets you warmed up
Yeah,
to
okay.
be able to hit a mic. You know what I mean?
I saw it
So
more.
you're not cracking.
Yeah, I saw it more as if like going into like doing karaoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, so it's like once I'm singing in front of my girl,
Yeah.
and like I don't care what she hears me saying or what how loud or whatever how I'm doing it, but once I get to the area and I get to the stage, once I'm up there, it's like, what's up everybody? Like I just feel more relaxed.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes into my whole like ritual, I guess.
Oh, I get that. I get that for sure. I kind of feel like before every show I get nervous, but then once you get out on stage, it's like, oh, it's all over.
Honestly,
it's
yeah.
all done behind you.
For me, it's as soon as I grab the mic.
Yeah.
Once and that's the thing is like it's funny you talked about the whole mic stand thing because my very first set, I made it a point that when I went, I was like, I don't know, I shouldn't have said this, but I was like, it's my first time, and I was like, is it cool? And I said to Felipe, not knowing who he was at the time, but I was just like, is it cool if I could just pull the mic off? He's like, yeah, man, do your thing. So I took it off, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I just wanted to be in control of that situation. So
you should be.
Yeah, so taking it off the mic stand, it's like someone placed it here. Me taking it off is like, no, like that's cool. Like you want it there, but I feel comfortable holding it. And I moved it to the side. And I just did it naturally because I just felt like I wanted, like the only way I was going to get through this set or the only way I was going to be comfortable on stage is if I control my surroundings or my situation.
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel like, when we do the ones at Brewers, like, okay, I want this kind of speaker, I want this kind of mic, I want this kind of mic stand, because when you go to a real club, you should be dealing with a round base mic stand with an SM58 and a wired microphone. Like it should be a standard that we should be used to dealing with. One of the things I want to add, Jordan, is a timer, because in a normal club, you see a timer and it's like you get 3 minutes, dude. There are 40 or 50 other people waiting to sign, or 30 other people in the lineup. You get 3 minutes. So I'd like to have a timer. Obviously, right now, there's enough people, we can take our time.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have that kind of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to another place, you're ready to drop in with the locals,
And that's another thing you bring up. What's harder, having a time limit or
for sure.
having a time limit or no time limit? Go however long
having
you
a
want.
time limit, yeah, because we experienced that the past 2 nights. I mean, well, you didn't. You were hosting on Saturday.
Yeah,
but I said.
But even then, that was a time limit because Felipe told me he's like, you're gonna go up. You're gonna introduce them. He's like, first, do a joke, 2-3 minutes tops.
Yeah,
and then don't prolong it because we had like 6 open micers. And then 3 headliners.
Yeah.
So he was like, he's like, you want to host a show. If someone's funny, you want to jump in and continue the laughs. Do a joke to keep them going. Kind of keep the momentum going. If someone comes up and they're not as good and they don't get too many laughs, bring the show back up.
Yeah.
He's like, but you only have 3 minutes. So that was once again like a time limit type thing.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I saw the light from you. Like you lit me up, and I'm.
But I only did it. Because if it was up to me,
I was ready.
If it was up to me, I was
I got laughs. I'm ready.
I was listening to everything you were saying,
and
I was like, nope. Like I can tell you want to go more.
Okay.
But after the second person, Felipe came over. He's like, because it was my first time hosting, as far as like for his show.
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah. He's like, man, like you got to. He's like, as soon as you get off stage and they pull the mic, like, and they start talking, press that timer. Like he wanted me to keep a timer, and be like at 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Start flashing them.
All right, so that's something where, like, I think experience in another club makes a difference. Because, like, any other club, hey, you get the light a minute prior, and then when you're at your time, you get flashed, right?
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not speaking out of my ass because that's how I've known it. So
yeah, we haven't been doing it.
I'm
long,
hoping
so that's all we know.
If
at
not,
this
I've
point.
been reading it wrong when I'm out of town. But my point is, that's what I was expecting. I saw the light. I'm like, okay, it's time. Because I knew the next joke I had was going to run long, and dude, I don't want to be disrespectful to the other comics that were.
And that's what I was thinking as a host too. I was like,
and it was a fucking rowdy. Like I was done with that crowd.
It was.
I was good.
Yeah.
You know, I remember watching a Rogan or listening to a Rogan podcast, and he says every set you do is a set, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's a set, and you learn from that set.
Yeah.
So I felt I've learned from this room. You know,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's real easy to lose them.
oh fuck!
Especially if you only have 3 to 5 minutes.
Every topic you lose them, yeah.
And
yeah,
that's the thing
that
too, is
room.
like I didn't realize this, but I heard other comedians say that they were like, you know, the reason you do a special, you do like an hour, 30 minutes, that's your special. You're good. You can have a few minutes where they're kind of like downtime, but you also have those moments when they're, you know, the killers.
Right.
And then, but when you go on open mic set or you go to like the Comedy Store and you only have 5 minutes, that's 3 or 5 minutes of your best shit. So, and I get it, me and you are just starting out, but that shouldn't be an excuse. But at the same time, like, we should work harder towards those 3 or 5 minutes. It shouldn't be hard. It's like you have a minimal amount of time. Give us the best you've got.
It should be like, all right. So I learned this in college. A lot.
What college you go to?
It's a university for like audio engineering. Well, it's for like film and all kinds of shit. It's Full Sail University in Orlando.
Okay.
Or Winter Park, Florida. It's for like production and shit like that. Anyways,
Okay.
point being is a lot of times it's subtracting. You know what I mean? So you may have a whole spectrum of shit you're dealing with, but a lot of times you're pulling the things out that you don't need.
Okay.
So, like, for
okay.
example, like on my sets, I go through a book, like my joke book, right? And I have, I don't know how many pages of like jokes and topics in here, and I'll write them down for the particular crowd or room or whatever we're dealing with. And I may have 15 jokes, 10 jokes on there, and we may get to 4.
I get
you know,
but
I have more than I could ever possibly use.
just to be safe.
Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in your arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where I'm at right now is like I need to get away from the notes. You know, it needs to be like second nature.
So at this point, you just being new to it,
we're what? This is our first year. Like, I don't count the 2020
this is for
pandemic
me.
shit,
For me,
you know?
this is my 2022 is my year.
Yeah.
As far as like 2022 is when I started comedy.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, what's your biggest, I guess, issue you've had with doing comedy? Like, what's something that you came across that you're like, I'm trying to work my way. Like, I know if I could just get around that, you know,
it's like anything. Like, I say the same thing about going to the gym. I just need to do it. You know what I mean?
And
you
that's
just
the
need
thing
to do it
with
like,
comedy. And that's the thing too, is like listening to a lot of podcasts and like comedians in interviews and stuff. They're always like, yeah, people always come up to me and they're like, I want to be a comedian. Like, you know, you guys have any any tips or any tricks or anything? And they're just like, honestly, just get on stage.
Just do it. Yeah.
As many times as possible. And it's like, and it's so very broad, but it's so very true.
Well,
but in only certain situations, only certain like dreams or goals, like comedy, for instance, like that is very true. There's no blueprint. There's nothing you should follow. There's no like he did it this way, do it this way. Like no, like everyone has a different avenue they take, and everyone and the main thing that it all boils down to is just get on stage.
Right, and that's what I learned from
That's it.
Christina P. Was just do it. Just get out there. You just gotta fucking. And Tracy McDonald, like from that conversation, was.
I know. I need to listen to that.
You just
listen
need
to Tracy McDonald.
You just need 100 times on stage, and you will learn. You know, it just takes time, and you just gotta learn. You just gotta do it. You gotta get over the fear, like you said, when you wanted the butterflies, or you want to pussy out of it. I was right there with you. If it wasn't for my friend and his restaurant saying, you know what, and I wanted to bring it up earlier. So that night, I remember Charles, I think he said he had like 8 or 9 people signed up, and 5 of which showed up.
At airport.
No. This is Icons back in 2020.
Okay. The first time.
Pre-pandemic.
Your very first time. Yeah.
So my point being is that first time I realized, oh shit, about half the people, a little bit, more or less, don't show up.
Yeah.
So they're
Pussy
feeling what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I told this guy I'd be here. He texted me earlier because he saw and people weren't coming up. Okay, so I'm going to be there. So that kind of forced me to do it. Same thing with Nathan in San Diego. I messaged him, I'm going to be there. So when people expect you, then you do it, and then you're happy you do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing about comedy, that this is how I know, like for me, this is how I know Excuse me. This is how I know this is something I want to do because like back in the day, like 5-6 years ago, I was really into the gym. Like to the point where if I would go Monday through Sunday, if I missed a day, I just felt like a piece of shit the rest of the day. So now I'm not saying I have Monday through Sunday, shows with comedy, but the opportunities I do get, and when I'm like trying to pussy out or be like, I could just easily be like, hey bro, I can't come because of this, and it's like, if I don't show up for that show that I originally said, like, yeah, I'd be down to do that, and I just like make some bullshit excuse, which I know in my heart, true to myself, I'm like, I'm just making this shit because I'm scared, I'm not ready. It's like that ruins my whole, because my next show could possibly be a month later or 2 weeks later. So it's like for the next 2 weeks, the next month, I'm fucked. Like it's fucking with my head, it's fucking with my body. Like I'm just like, man, why didn't you go? Just you've done it before, the 2 times before. One was good, one was shitty. Like you've been through both those avenues. Like just why didn't you go? What are you scared of? It's like, so now at that point, I just don't want that to be an excuse for me, and that's how I know this is something I really want. Because I know if I miss out on an event, if I miss out on an opportunity to be on stage, to try to tell jokes, to try to make people laugh in a public setting, then I failed myself. And at that point, it's like, once again, it goes back to yourself. I can't be mad at anyone else. Nothing got canceled. Nothing. No, it's like the reason you're not getting better or the reason you're not comfortable on stage is because that last time when you pussied out.
I'll be right back.
Oh, you got to pee?
Dude, I can't hold it. But
I'll keep talking. But no, now Cody had to take a piss. But no, so what I was saying was pretty much I've had that thing where now I've realized oh shit, this is perfect timing. Cody just took a piss. I guess we hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna go in. I guess we're gonna go further. So let me change out the camera SD card, and then we'll continue this bad boy. All right, everybody, I'm sorry. We had to take a second. Was that our second piss break?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track.
But yeah, it actually worked out perfect timing because you had to take a piss, and also the video camera stopped recording. Where are my sunglasses?
They're So my dad always had a phrase.
Oh, they're right here.
Okay.
No, good. Your dad had a phrase?
Yeah. So ask that question.
Is that the phrase?
No. Where
are my sunglasses?
If they're up your ass, you'd know.
Well, it's the same thing as like my parents always say, like, what is it? If you lose your head, if it wasn't attached to your body, or something like that. Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. But you're right. If my sunglasses were up my ass, I would know. That's where they are. That's very accurate.
Do you remember what we were talking about before we?
We were talking about comedy shows and stuff. You were talking. I was teetering on pissing my pants.
Oh, okay. Nah, we'll skip to actually another question. Whenever you're writing your material, what does it come at? Where does it come out of? Is it off things that happen in your daily life? Is it stuff you make up?
Yeah, I mean, I think ironic things that I think of when I read news stories is probably like the most basic stuff, and then other things, like I think I may write something and it may not be something for years. You know what I mean? Like, I have a topic about, topics about obviously relationships and family and money and things, and I just like kind of add to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's different. So I was really intrigued when you talked to Carlos and you mentioned like, oh, he did this web thing, and you kind of explained that.
Oh, how to create a joke out of something. Yeah,
because I don't do that at all. I just
I don't either. I never
like.
It was all new to me.
So I have a phone, obviously, and I keep my notes on my phone, and then from my phone it goes into a book. And
you actually write it?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? So I always wondered that too. Like, I know a lot of comedians that have an actual book that's handwritten of what they want to do, like notes and stuff. It's easier for me to go on my notes on my phone that I have on me at all times, and it's not good. But as I drive, if I think of something and I know I don't want to forget it, I'll text, because I text and drive, which I shouldn't be, but I'll write notes of bits that I have in my head. And at the time, they're very, if you were to read my notes, it'd be like, this is not funny. But it's more for myself to
Yeah.
go back once I'm, parked or wherever I am and I'm relaxed. I could look back at it and be like, oh, this is a good idea. And I'll build off that. So that's what I do. But I always wondered too, because actually the last show on Saturday for when I was hosting, I remember I had texted you when you were going to show up.
Right, yeah.
And you're like,
and we were
"Man."
both late. We were both not on the time we agreed to.
But you also told me you were like, man, I love these 9 o'clock shows. And I was like, yeah, me too. This is dope. Like I can, cook dinner. I can make some food, eat some food, and then sit down, listen to music, have some, some drinks, kind of pregame, and then also kind of go back to my notes of what I'm going to do. And as I was doing it, I had a bunch of notes on my phone already.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, but no, I see a lot of people doing written paperwork, and I see you do it, and obviously most open mics that we've had have had little notebooks or a piece of paper on the fucking chair.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe I should do it that way, because I don't like that I pull out my phone and I look back at what I'm trying to say. It looks unprofessional. It's like you weren't prepared. But at the same time, it's like if you have a paper there, they see you glance over at it, but it's a little bit more subtle as far as like they kind of see you glance and you're just like, oh yeah. And then you kind of get back on track of what you were going to say. So I don't know, but at the same time, like I write my set as if I'm trying to remember it verbatim.
Okay.
I don't write
good.
bullet points.
Yeah.
Because if I write bullet points, then there's certain things I know I need to say that it leads to the punchline.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. So like for instance, like I have this joke about when I was in Korea, how everyone assumes, they assume if you get a massage, like it's very easy to have a happy ending. It's
you did,
also,
right?
Well, hold on. It's also, you can only imagine if you go to Korea, like the motherland of happy endings, every place that gives massages, you get a happy ending. And it's so easy. It's just like, this place is a massage parlor
you have to pay
in
not
Korea.
to get a happy ending, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so you think it would be like that. And so I remember my first time going.
Work on my sciatic nerve, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not my dick.
And so it's like you go and at the time when I was in Korea, I was like, so the only time I went was so this is my writing, and this is like the point of the joke.
Yeah.
Was that my thing was when you're in Korea, they're very racist as far as like if you're not Asian, they won't allow you into their massage parlor, let alone a happy ending. So
you think they would be all for the foreigners?
Exactly, and it's not like that. And so my thing was, I've always, every time I ask people like, what race do you think I am? I get a lot of Asian, Islander, Filipino. I never get Mexican.
Yeah, I do know this joke. Yeah.
So the joke is that I went to this place. And it was me and all my buddies, and they were Mexicans and white, and clearly you could tell. And that the lady was like, "Oh no, like you're not allowed." And he can come in, and and then I realized like, oh shit, they only allow certain races, and she thinks I'm Asian, so she was like, "You Asian, right?" And I'm like, yeah, I tried to sound Asian, and then and she's like
everything you've heard during every pedicure.
Exactly, yeah. And so then I'm like, and then at some point she's like, okay, you come, and I'm like, whoa, like you got to give me a massage first before I come, like I try to use that to my advantage, but so when I wrote it in my notes, it was very go to massage parlor, very racist.
Very racist.
But then the one thing I did make sure I had to say, like it wasn't like like an outline. It was like the main thing that you need to get at is the whole point where she was like, you Asian, come, and then it's like, whoa, you want me like no, like I need a massage first before I come. So
Dude.
Those are the things that I focus on in my writing, not so much the lead up to it, because I'm in hopes when I write the joke, I'm hoping that later on when I have time, I go back to it and I'm like, oh, I see where I was trying to get to.
Yes, yeah. So
I was trying to get to this point, and that's the main point I write.
Have you finished that joke yet?
I haven't. No.
So I don't know. It just popped in my head, but I don't know. This is probably stupid to even say it live on, but so somehow put it like, she thought I was Asian until I pulled my dick out, and she realized I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then
You'd be
I'm not even deprecating. I'm promoting myself.
Right. Exactly.
Whoa, you too big. You know Asian.
Something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. Good.
You know,
You see,
I had her fooled until that.
And see, that's the thing too. Is like that's what I love about like making friends with you other comics here in Yuma. Is for the longest time, anything I thought that was funny, it was to people that were just
to our girls.
Either to
They're
our
the
girls,
ones that hear it.
to our girls, or my parents,
That's
or
not
like
funny. I've heard it.
my friends. Yeah, people that have heard it before, or it was just like they know my personality.
Yeah,
and they're like, and they also at the same time they didn't have the mind to think like in a comic way, like our goal was to tell them a joke and then being like, that's pretty funny, and they were like. But they never had the idea to be like, it'd be even funnier if you did this. They were just like, punching it up.
Yeah.
So now that I met you, that's another comic, same, freshman class.
Right.
We're both trying to come up. So now I have someone that I can be, and I've done it. This past Saturday, I was like, yo, this is like kind of my set. What do you think about it? And I'd even be like, this one I'm kind of iffy about. And right away, you were like, this is good, it's good. But like, and they were like, and you didn't say, this isn't good, you should do it this way. You were just like, this is good. You're like, but then what if, she was also Mexican, but, or whatever. Like you and I was like, I took a different approach of it. And so now I have someone like you that I can come to, no pun intended. And you can come to me and come on me. And we can like share those things.
Yeah, I got you. No, and I like so desperately wanted that because, again, like I go to do these stand-up shows, these open mics in other places, and although the other communities are accepting, like I'm not a local, you know what I mean? Like, hey, and Cody from Yuma, it's like they'll razz the other guys who are locals, because they know
they're gonna root for the home team. It's home team advantage.
Well, I mean, not even that. Like they're very open and kind and welcoming. But it's like the other guys are they're there every week. They're known on a first name basis. Yeah. So I'm just like a pop-in. That's cool. It's cool to be a pop-in, but I'm not the. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm one of the crew, so I don't have anybody to go, hey, if you did this, it would sound better, or hey, if you use that word, it would make it pop. You know what I mean? So I'm still a lone wolf out in like another city. You know what I mean? So to have like our local community where, it's the group of us. And we can all like, kick around ideas and punch up jokes is great.
Yeah. So obviously you've been doing it a little bit longer than I have.
Only like a month.
But
we
honestly,
started at the same time, dude.
But not even that. But like I've only done it in Yuma. Okay. You've traveled a different state, a different city. So, you went to San Diego.
You're right.
And where else besides
San Diego,
Lake Havasu?
Havasu, Tucson, or some of the places.
So when you were outside of your element, did you ever get like a bully, like type vibe? Like you were saying, they've already created their own little group within that city or that town. When you showed up out of state or out of town, like they kind of be like, "Oh, this is the new guy." Like, did you kind of get that, or was everyone very welcoming? Because I think that's like the one thing I'm worried about. Not so much like performing stand up in front of like a new crowd. It's just so much how are the comedians or the acts of that city or that town that have constantly been there. They're like, "Oh, here's this new fucking guy." Like, did you ever get any of that? Like,
I think they're very welcoming, but I think derogatory towards our community, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Yuma,
the fuck is that? Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm up here because we don't have open mics, So like, I can't defend that part of it. Like, oh no, we really don't have art and culture isn't our leading point, guys. So
we're more into failures and
no, we got
prisoners.
Ag. You want to talk about ag? Let's talk leafy greens, buddy. We got. We got some things going on. But point being was they didn't so much, rag on me, but they would rag on Yuma or things like that.
Oh, okay. But it was pointed at you.
But
because they wouldn't be talking about Yuma if you weren't there.
Right. But that being said, like I remember, for example, one of these hosts talking about, the other comics, and he'd rag on all of them. That's kind of like a sign that you're in the club. is when, they're comfortable enough to like josh you, to give you shit.
That's so true because I've there's been times that like I've gone over to like a girl's parents' house or something,
Right.
and I'm like, what if they make fun of me? And she's like, trust me, my family, if they don't make fun of you, they don't like you.
Yeah.
If they're comfortable enough to make fun of you or roast you or whatever, like that's when you know you made it in. If you go in and they're just like, hey, what's up, and I'm so and so, and they just leave you alone, they don't like you. But when they, it's almost like that same thing, like when you were like little. Like in like pre-K or like kindergarten or like first grade or whatever, like you bullied the girl that you had a crush on. You get what I'm saying? Like you fuck with them, but at the same time, it's because you become so comfortable with them, you have a feeling for them. It's just you're like, I'm comfortable enough to be myself, to be my like asshole self, and he's not gonna take it like I'm getting bullied. It's more of like, no, I feel so comfortable with you. I am who I am. So. Yeah. So you never took it as bullying.
I mean, I didn't. I was actually happy, like the first time that like Nathan said like I bombed. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I really did. Like I had some laughs in the beginning, but at the end I didn't end strong. But my point was like, okay, cool. Like I'm to the point where he'll call me out when, because the first time around when he first met me, he's like, all right, he didn't say anything mean. But like after a while, after he got to know me, and like actually when I didn't do well, he didn't hold back. So it was like, okay, cool. I'm becoming more of, I don't want to say regular. That's not the right word, but I'm just, it's another time here. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, hey, it's your first time, I'm not going to say anything about you. Because I've had hosts go, hey, our next comedian, I just met him, a real hilarious guy. You don't fucking know that. He just met me.
You're just trying to build me up.
Hey, I just met him, real hilarious. You don't know that.
But see, for the most part, like as a host, like you would assume like, no, that's like I'm trying to build you up, but like you're hurting me. Yeah. Because now you're out here saying like, this guy's hilarious, whatever. It's like, bro, like why are you building me up? Now I got to live up to that. Other than like, this is so and so. This is only his, second time doing stand up or whatever. It kind of downgrades because then people are like, oh, he's only been doing this, so we'll give him a little break. But the minute you're like, he's hilarious, it's almost like whenever you see like a new movie and someone saw it and you haven't, and you're like, how's that movie? You're like, it's the best movie this year. It's fucking amazing. And you go and watch it and you have all these high expectations and you're like, it was good, but it wasn't what you said. So it kind of ruins it for you.
All right. Apparently that's what Top Gun is. Have you seen Top Gun?
I haven't, but I have.
Apparently, that's what it is, though. It's so like everybody I talk to, they say it's that fucking good.
100% of the people I've
heard.
Tom
Cruise is 60, Jordan.
100% of
what the fuck?
100% of the people I've talked to and listened to, or Instagram, famous or not, family or not, everyone says it's the most amazing movie they've ever seen.
Tom Cruise is 60.
But like my thing is, I want to watch it. Even if I watch
He's not allowed to be in the military. What the fuck are you doing?
Supposedly that's why this one's so good because he realizes in this movie like he is older. He takes that older role because he's not Mission Impossible. He's not no CIA, FBI, Special Forces agent. Like he is who he is. Like they know this movie's been centuries. So supposedly that's why. I don't know, but what I'm saying is
I gotta see it because I hear it's amazing.
You haven't seen it?
No, have you?
No, I haven't.
I hear it's amazing though.
Has your girl seen it?
No, but
do you want to do a double date?
Oh my god,
do you want to see it?
Yeah, I do. I definitely. Honestly, I want to see Bob's Burgers. I think it's out of the theaters.
So I don't know. Like we're still recording, but this is legit.
Yeah, we can do that if you want.
Tomorrow night we're gonna go downtown.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna try to convince my girl to go watch the movie with me.
Top Gun.
We should go.
Okay.
Have some drinks and then we'll go watch it downtown or wherever it's playing.
Yeah, we do that.
No, I'm serious because my whole thing is like I'm probably gonna really. Have you watched the original?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean it's so cheesy.
Yeah, it is. But like it held up for its time. It was a badass movie at the time.
Apparently,
just flight like, and that's the thing too is like nowadays we don't have that. There's no aerial combat no more. Jets. Fighting other jets. Like if anything, we're like one of the higher powers as far as like
UAVs. They're dudes in Nevada playing video games.
Exactly. So it's like it doesn't make sense. But I hear so many good reviews about it. Like all this shit, and so I want to watch it. And once I'm done, I'm like, yo, that was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
I know.
The best thing about it was Miles Teller naked. Like other than that, like fuck that movie. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like I just want to be. I want to play the devil's advocate of Top Gun.
But I have too many people that are solid people that are saying no, it's good.
Dude, I've heard comedians that talk shit about some of the greatest movies that I thought were great, and they're like, this Top Gun movie, like, I'm sorry, but it's like it's probably the best movie this year. No one's paying them. It's not an ad.
I know, right?
These are just legit people that are just like, I'm sorry, but like I have to regret. Like I have to tell you, like, this is an amazing movie.
I know.
They all thought the same thing too. They're all like, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's giving it, whatever. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. All this shit, 99%, whatever it is. And they're like, I didn't believe it. And I'm like, I watched it, and I'm like, I believe it now.
So I mean,
it excites me, but at the same time, I want to play devil's advocate.
So I mean, part of me wants to watch it just because of the pop culture sensation part of it. Kind of like watching the Super Bowl. I don't care if my team's not in it, whatever.
But the commercials.
But right,
commercials,
but to be a part
the
of that
show.
That
you know it's going to be a talked about topic for the next few
Exactly.
months, or at least till the end of the year. Yeah.
So I mean, I feel silly because there's probably people that are listening to this that like, how do you not fucking watch that movie already? It's been out for a month.
There's so many movies I haven't seen, and I've just gotten to that point where I'm not a big movie theater person. I thought I was. Like, I love being in public. I love going to bars and clubs and stuff. But when it comes to like movie theaters, it's just not my thing. Like, it used to be so much fun, like looking forward to it. Like, let's go on a date. Let's go watch a movie in the theater. Let's buy some fucking expensive ass popcorn,
Right.
And let's,
put a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, for one night. Why not? We only do it once a month. Like, no, but now it's become such a big thing.
Yeah.
Once again, and that's the funny thing is that when the pandemic came around, I truly thought that theaters were no longer going to make it after that, because once they did the on-demand thing, where it was like you could either watch it in theaters or you can watch it, for $20 for 24 hours. You rent it, and it's in theaters right now. It's like, well, I'm just gonna watch it at home then.
Of course.
I'm gonna be fucking butt naked, making my own fucking. I'm gonna eat carne asada tacos, or I'm gonna fucking eat Mr. G's, or I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I could be on my phone. I can smoke weed.
I can pause it and go take a.
Yeah, I would just rather do this. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. So much more convenient.
Yeah, but no, I think now that everything came back, the whole pandemic, everyone being like away from public and stuff, they were like, no, I miss that. I miss going out in public to watch a movie with other people and get their reactions. But going back to that thing, the whole Top Gun thing, it's just, it was supposed to be ready around the time the pandemic hit.
Right.
It's been ready for like 2 years. There was nothing they were waiting on. Their main thing was like, it has to be seen in theaters.
Money.
Definitely.
And that's why he won't allow, Tom Cruise, executive producer, won't allow it to be seen on streaming, right? It has to be theater only, right?
Yeah,
that's what I read.
And also, I've heard that in the beginning, Tom Cruise comes on the screen and he says like, this was done before the pandemic. Everything happened, and we didn't want to release it, but something this amazing had to be released in theater, in fucking 4K, Ultra HD, 41 million thousand. You know what I'm saying? Like all this extra shit.
$18 tickets.
Yeah.
Had to be.
But you know what? I've heard there's been people that I've seen that have gone to a regular movie theater. God damn, this is the downfall of having a studio in the ghetto.
Nah, it's all good.
Someone just got shot down the road. Fuck them, right?
Hey, they need rescue.
They try to abort their own baby because fucking Roe v. Wade came around.
Shit.
But no, so like everyone was making it like they were making it seem like it has to be seen in theaters. But so I'm at the point where I'm like, well, it's been out for a while. Hopefully the fads died down to where it's not packed theaters. But I'm really willing to go watch it.
Yeah, me too. I want to check it out.
All right.
But everyone says like it is that moving. I said the same thing about Ghostbusters. Did you watch the new Ghostbusters?
I haven't. No.
Dude, are you
the girl one?
No.
The guy
count.
remake?
That didn't count. No, the third one.
Nope.
Okay.
Certain movies, certain remakes, I will watch. We just watched Footloose the other day, and I fucking loved it.
There's a remake of Footloose?
Yeah, with Miles Teller's in it.
Wow.
I love anything
Same
Miles
thing,
Teller.
like
I'm
The
a huge
Town,
Miles Teller fan.
Outlaws, Dancing.
There you go. So anything. So certain remakes I will watch.
Okay.
But some movies, I've seen the originals, and to me, that's always what it's going to be.
Okay.
It completely, when it ended, it sucked. I wish they would have made more, but, 20 or 15, 10 years later, they make another one. I don't know if it's been that long, but I'm just not down for it. So, and Ghostbusters was one of those things. It ended. I like the Marshmallow Man. I like the green ghost. I like that painting that comes alive.
Vigo.
Yeah. So that's my Ghostbusters. Anything if they make a remake, I'm not down for it.
Well, all right. So the Afterlife episode, so the third one isn't a remake; it's a continuation. And I can tell you.
Okay,
I can tell you, like, if you were into the first one, I believe that was 83, 84, and then the second one, which is what, 90?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the third one, like,
it's a good continuation.
It'll make you cry.
Really?
I don't give a fuck. I'm confident in my sexuality. I don't give a fuck. It'll make you cry.
It is. I'll do the thing where I'll watch. So now you tell me that, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it now. But
the girl one never happened.
Yeah.
Never happened.
And I don't think it's so much that they were girls. I think the idea was, let's do a Ghostbusters, but because it was the Me Too movement, it was girls, It
was woke.
It was very woke. It was like, that was my thing. I was like, so you're only doing this because of the movement right now. If you would have done this, couple years after the originals, the second original, the last original, if you would have done a girl one, it probably would have been good. But the fact that your intentions where it's like, well, we want to make a remake or a continuation, but we want to do it with females. No. It's like, you're only doing that to please this new woke audience.
We want to capitalize on the movement.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and shit, that's there's shit going on. We want to get in front of it and sell tickets.
Exactly. Yeah. And nowadays, a lot of these movies that are remakes where it's like, well, let's just switch the cast, the all-men cast with girls. It's like, you're only doing that because of the movement.
Did you ever watch the Shane Gillis special?
No.
Oh, my God. I'll send it to you.
You told me about it, though.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He mentions the Ocean's 11.
The all-girls one.
Yeah.
Once again, never watched it. Never even piqued my interest. Never even went back and looked it up. Reviews, nothing.
Okay.
Once there was no George Clooney or Matt Damon or the Asian guy, none of that. Once there wasn't that, I was like, what? And was it Bernie Mac? Right. No. Once that was all gone, I was like, it just doesn't catch my attention. And then especially when I realized, oh, you're making a Ocean's, what is it, 13, 14?
Yeah, 15, 12.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't
all female cast. They decide to rob a casino, whatever, like the original plot. No, I'm not going to watch it because now it's not so much about the storyline. It's more about bringing girls up and being like, no, girls can be, just as good as guys. It's
multi-million-dollar thieves, too, if they want. They could be international, art thieves. Not art, but whatever.
Money heist.
There we go. That's where I was looking for.
But going back to the whole Top Gun thing, you want to go grab the last beer?
That's all. I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm good. I got my last one.
Cool.
You got one more?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right. But no, going back to the whole Top Gun thing. No, like I was saying, tomorrow, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should go.
All right.
I don't know if you have any plans. We were gonna go downtown, and then I don't know. I prefer the downtown theater.
Okay.
Regency.
All right.
Yeah, I've always gone there, and also now they serve alcohol, and they have the whole you pick your seats. You didn't know that?
I like the pick your seats thing because it's less anxiety.
Yeah.
Did you ever were you a person that was stickler for good seats at the theater?
My main thing was I wanted to be at least at the very back.
Oh shit! Okay.
I like the stadium seating.
Okay.
I didn't like the flat ground. I liked where it would raised up, and I liked being in the very back. I wanted to be at the very back in the middle.
Yeah.
But I've seen some movies from the side at the very back, and it's just as good. Yeah. But my main thing, I think the last movie I watched was where I sat up very close, like I'm talking like front row, fucking breaking my neck, was like Godzilla versus Kong, or Kong versus Godzilla, or one of those. And I was like, this is why I don't like this.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not so much about that. But at the Regency in downtown, they have the seats where even if it's like I didn't even know they had this, but they still have the flat ground. They don't have some theaters aren't, or some rooms aren't like theater or stadium seats where they raise up.
Yeah.
But the upside to it is they have the lazy boys that you can like recline.
That's right.
So you could lay back and just like be comfortable. So I fucking love that. And like you said, you kind of get rid of that whole like, oh, is anyone sitting here? Like, no, you have a set ticket with a set seat and you've picked it prior.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like growing up, we had this thing where like, okay, you go stand in line to get drinks or whatever, and I'll go grab seats because we want to grab, the seats that are in the middle.
Exactly.
And,
I'll go get some seats. You get the snacks. Yeah.
And you don't have that anxiety anymore. It's all gone. Like, okay, I have my seats and they're printed out and whatever. I'll go when I'm done with the snack bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, seriously, we should do that.
Again, if anything,
I'll message you.
If anything, it's like watching the Super Bowl. It is a pop culture like staple. Did you see Top Gun in 2022? You have to have.
Yeah. And
right now, like, no.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't care. Mm-hmm. But I want to just to be like a part of that. You know what I mean?
And I'm like I said, I jokingly say the whole, like once I watch it, I want to be like, man, that movie was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen. But I'm all about like, seriously, when it comes down to it, like serio pedo.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
No idea.
Serio pedo?
No.
Serious fart.
Oh. Okay.
Like being fucking serious. It's a little slang thing. No, seriously, like I wanna watch it, and I'm gonna be like, this shit was. I don't go into movies hoping that I can prove people wrong that they were so shitty.
Oh,
like
I wanted to waste $12.
Exactly.
What the fuck? Yeah.
I wanted to buy these snacks. I wanted to pick one night of a date night with my girl. I wanted to go out to dinner, have some drinks. I wanted to end the night with a great movie. I didn't want to be like, this movie fucking sucks. I hope it fucking sucks. Or this movie's fucking great. I hope it fucking sucks so I can prove everyone wrong. Like, no. So I'm by all means, if I go in and watch Top Gun and everyone says what it is and I watch it and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, if everyone makes it seem like it is, which I don't like, by the way, because now I have a huge expectation.
Right.
Especially by this time. It's been out,
about a month?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
This movie's been out by a month by now. So it's like, when I go watch it, it's like, there's a huge expectation about it. And I don't want to ruin it for the movie, but it's like, it better deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do that over Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jurassic Park's been... It went after Jurassic Park, it went Jurassic World, and it kind of like went like flat, and then it went and then it's kind of it went up down.
Helped a little bit, but it.
Yeah, because he's a great character.
Yeah, but
I love him in Guardians of the Galaxy, love him in the Avengers, but that kind of didn't really help it as far as the storyline and everything. And so, from what I heard, this last Jurassic World is just terrible.
I don't. How can it be
like
great?
Top Gun? Like Top Gun?
Yeah.
Every review I've heard has been terrible about this Jurassic World.
Well, that's the thing. I have not seen one negative thing about Top Gun, and this is going to like professional comedians on their podcasts. So Tom and Christina, on Your Mom's House, they've talked about like, oh, it's really good. Like
Chris D'Elia.
You expect them to shit on it.
Yeah. Well, you know Chris D'Elia's dad. Yeah. Chris D'Elia's dad is a producer.
Yeah.
So he's all about the
Hollywood shit.
The Hollywood, the movie making. So he has an idea of like what is a good movie, what it takes. His dad's a producer, so all this stuff. So even he said it. He was like, and he shits on movies that I'm like, I've seen, and I'm like, that was pretty good. He was like, it was the worst fucking movie. Acting is fucking shitty. I could do better. And I'm like, okay, like I kind of see where you're going at there with it. Like when you really go in depth in those movies, then okay, I get it. But he talked about Top Gun. He was like, I'm telling you guys right now, it's probably one of the greatest movies. I'm not quoting him, but I'm saying like around that. Like he really made it, and I'm like, okay, if to me, Chris D'Elia was like, he was gonna shit on anything, even if it was good. So the fact that he's like, I would say this, but he was like, this movie was fucking great. I loved it and all this stuff, and that's where I'm like, I need to see this movie.
I'm right there with you.
All right, let's go tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll make that happen. I have tickets to Harkins, but fuck it.
We can go to Harkins too. Fuck it. I would just say downtown. I just threw that out there.
Whatever works.
As long as we watch it together.
Yeah.
But man, we've been going on for a while now.
Right.
And I just want to say once again, thank you, Cody Beeson.
Thank you, Jordan Atondo, man,
for coming out to the studio. I can thank you. I can. Say thank you to a lot of things. I mean, like you said, we're both part of the same like freshman class as far as like comics wise goes. Like we're both kind of coming up at the same time, going through the same motions and stuff. We're both doing open mics. You're creating an open mic. You have one in the process.
I'm trying to get you to create the park open mics.
You
know what I mean? Like, yeah, you should do them. You should do them. I'll give you a PA. Go do it.
No, so I had this idea and I actually took it off other comedians.
Jordan's open mic.
But like, so I had
Slob in the park.
Slob in the park. So I had this idea, but not so much I had this idea, but I heard a lot of podcasts and comedians talk about them coming up. It was kind of the same situation. They came from a town where there wasn't a lot of comedy clubs or whatever. So they're like, well, I'll just take a speaker and a microphone to a park and just do some stand-up.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, well, I should just do that too. Like, if I can't find like clubs or places that want to put some on, then I'll just go to a park, freedom of speech. Why not?
For the homeless.
For the homeless. Yeah. I feel like you took that from something because that's too good.
No, that's because that's who's going to be at the parks.
Ha and the homeless or slob in the park.
The homeless are going to be at the park.
No, but yeah, so that's my idea too. But once again, like because of people like you, Felipe, people that have shown very big interest in my dream and like the things I've done, and you guys have been along part of the process. I appreciate you very much. Very, very so for that Friday show. It was, I didn't even know it wasn't an open mic. It was a set show. What's up?
No, that's what I was going to say is like, so as we're in the same class and we grow up together and we do things together. So, there's certain levels, and doing open mics is one level, but dude, we did a paid show. It wasn't an open mic. It was people paid for tickets to go to that show, and then they had paid for other comedians they saw, but we were on that show. Like, so that is a part of that growing pain process. Like, you do open mics, you do paid shows, you do, feature. So I've gotten everything I've learned from these podcasts, whether it be Your Mom's House or Joe Rogan or Tiger Belly or whatever. And that being said, you have your headliners like George Perez, the headliner. George is bringing an opener, which would be considered a feature.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and then there's a host that's a part of that. And then we're in there somewhere. Like, we're openers or we're in there. But point being is you have a host, a feature, and a headliner. Like, that's the standard. And that's what we're learning all about. Like, this high school or college, of comedy. Is we're figuring out where our place is and where we kind of figure out all these moving parts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, like, you've come across certain opportunities, and just from the little bit of time that we've met, you somehow include me in those. You let me know, hey, there's a show in Lake Havasu. There's, that Friday. The main thing for me is that Friday show.
Okay, yeah.
This past Friday at Ricky's place, fuck Ricky's place, but they had a legit show on. They had 3 stand-up comedians that were from out of town. 2 of them were very big. Yeah, one was from Vegas. One was a traveling comedian, like all over the world. And because of your connections and what you got on. And not only were you like, hey, like you should come to this show. Like I'm gonna open and all this stuff. Like you were just like, hey, like if you want, I could try to get you on 5 minutes, and you did. And I went on for 5 minutes, and I appreciate you for that because you've given me more opportunity than I ever would expect in general. And then also you put on these airport shows, which is another practice, another, 5-20 20, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes that I can add to my 10,000 hour roll.
You did 22 last time, dude. You did 20 fucking minutes.
You
man.
also, and also the airport thing is your thing, so you normally host it. You told me like, hey, bro, would you be down to host it? I'm like,
but that's what it's about.
Yeah, and I
appreciate it.
appreciate
It's
that.
about other people like also getting into it and learning and trying things.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be about me. It should be about the whole comedy community. We should all be coming up together.
And that's what I appreciate about you is like you're not all about yourself. You're as like,
but I am.
You are, but in a way where you're like, this kind of helps me out as well. It also helps him out.
Yeah,
you know
I need you to come up with me. I need you. We both need to be able.
And same.
Yeah,
same.
Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
fuck yeah, I will take 10 minutes and cut it in half and give Jordan 5 at a paid show because I need him to be at paid shows too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so once again, thank you, Cody Beeson. I'm glad you came on today. I'm definitely gonna have you on in the future, the very near future. Probably within the next 2-3 episodes, we got to go to that psychic, check it all out.
Oh, dude.
But
psychic wonders.
Everyone, once again, thank you for tuning in for Solving the Pod. Make sure you go on YouTube, go to Instagram, like, subscribe, go follow Cody Beeson. What's your Instagram? What's your social media?
So everything is Cody Beeson, but 928 Comedy is what I'm really pushing, the 928comedy.com. So I'm not in this for myself. I don't give a fuck about I want stage time, dude. I just want to be able to try stuff out. So I made 928comedy.com strictly as a place to put stuff because when you make
in Yuma, yeah.
So and I figured, all right, 928, we're gonna hit Havasu, Parker, Flagstaff, Prescott. But my point is, when you do like pages on Eventbrite or like events on Eventbrite, it asks you what's the web page. Well, I didn't have a web page, so I made a website for all of our comedy stuff. So it's not just me. It's like anything comedy related stuff happening at the casino. Dude, we had Gabriel Iglesias. I mean,
we had George Lopez at the Q.
Yeah. Point being is, Gabriel sold out in like 3 days.
Of course.
So they didn't really promote that too heavy. But they have other headlining shows at the casino. But we also have headliners coming to Yuma. And we have other open mics. I mean, at least 2 or 3 a month. So 928comedy.com is a place to put all that. Oh, and so this upcoming show with George Perez, I figured let's do 2-for-1 tickets. Those first tickets, so tickets are going to be like $20, right? So you get 2 tickets for the price of 1, but the promo code is going to be on the 928 Comedy like mailing list. You know what I mean? Kind of add some value to the people that sign up. Because my thought was, hey, sign up for the mailing list, and then you know about any comedy show coming up in Yuma or open mic or things like that. I don't know. It's just a thought, but
no, yeah, that's good.
That
adds to it. That adds to it the excitement as well as like they're like, oh, okay, well I could go out of town and see, get 1 ticket for $20, or I can go in my hometown and see local comedians as well as some, headliners from out of state, and now you are bringing, big names up, which a lot of people.
I hate saying you, like you are. It's not me, man. Like us, like the community, like. I wouldn't be able to do this.
I'm saying you're the person behind the contract. You're the person that you're the person that had the idea. You've done the nitty gritty. You've gone to these different bars, clubs. Hey, can we do it on this day? No, okay. You've done all that.
All right,
so that's why I give it to you.
All right, I'll take that credit. But
my
point is like, dude, we all have to come out and support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These comics, like. So I appreciate you doing what you do. And coming out still and doing it.
The only reason I'm continuing doing what I'm doing is because of people like you and Felipe that have constantly put on these shows, these out-of-towners that we get from Phoenix, from Vegas, wherever, like because they bring situation awareness of comedy, then it's like, yeah, like you said, people show up to this bar or these clubs not to see us, but to see these headliners that they've heard about, or like these people from out of town. They're like, oh, well, these people from out of town have been doing it, so obviously it must be a good show. But at the same time, they give local comedians a chance for a spot.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It should be a comedy college or a comedy high school or whatever. We should be able to try stuff out. And like I said, I was debating, and I actually went to a Toastmaster meeting. I was supposed to sign up for a Toastmaster club again.
Yeah.
Because like I was just trying to get mic time. I was just trying to get time in front of people to try out jokes that I'd written. So it should be an opportunity where you can get up and say, oh, man, I hate to give this up. Whatever, fuck it. I'll do it anyways.
I could bleep it out if you want.
No. I like, man, is it Mr. G's or is it Chili Pepper? Which one do you choose? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to be able to ask a crowd that question
Yeah.
and get a response from real people, like, you can only do that when you're live in front of them. So to be able to have that opportunity, dude, anything we can do to do that.
Well, I appreciate you for that.
It.
And I'm sure everyone else that's part of this whole following. What's up?
Cafecito. They're doing an open mic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Every first Friday.
Yeah, starting back in August.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing too. And you know what's crazy is, like, once again, thank you for that, because I've been going to First Fridays for a long time now.
All right.
And when I got into comedy, it was considered open mic, but for the most part, it was people playing music and stuff.
Singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's all they want. But when I had talked about it a couple episodes back, you had messaged me like, yo, what's this whole Cafecito thing? Like, it's open mic. Like, and I was like, yeah. I was like, and I even messaged Cafecito, and they were like, yeah, like, you can do comedy, like, whatever. Like, we just have an open mic. And I was like, so if we want to do comedy, like, what do we do? Do we sign up? They're like, no. They're like, just show up.
Yeah. And
then tell us, like, hey, you want to do this? And then we call you up. And I was like, okay. And you heard that on the podcast, and you're like, yo, what's this Cafecito thing? So I was like, how did I not think of that? But once again, it's someone like you that I'm just so narrow-minded, but I'm just so focused on, like, just doing stand-up that I was like, I didn't see that as a place to do it.
Anywhere,
and you brought that to my attention, and now it's a thing.
Anywhere we can get time. You know?
And so now, and you obviously messaged the owner. What's her name?
Oh, Ashley.
Ashley.
So I just called her, like, the other day. She's like, hey, we're not doing it in July. We're doing it in August. We have yet to have comedy, but come out. We're open to that.
And they want more.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
All right. At least two of us.
Yeah. So you have opened my mind to, like, different options of things that have always been in front of my face that I never noticed. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. So Wednesday, Brewers. First Wednesday of the month, Brewers.
Yeah. So let's do the setup. Let's go.
Friday at Cafecito.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's Park shows. I don't know what day you want to pick.
Still
those,
in the making.
But at some point, you have everything you need to do those.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously
July 30th.
July 30th.
At?
The headliner at the Caress.
With headlining?
George Perez.
There you go.
Yeah. It doesn't.
And
come on,
so it's going to be 4 acts, right? Me, you.
George Perez is bringing somebody.
An opener.
Yeah, you're going to be on and I'm hosting, and it's just going to be a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And I bugged this guy for a year or two, and like I said, he's not coming for me. It has nothing to do with me. He's coming for Yuma. Like, he knows people in Yuma. Like, people like him. People like Fools Gone Wild. Like, and like I said, hey, we're 200,000 people, and for these national acts to drive through and not stop, like, we're fucking up by not giving them an opportunity
Exactly.
to say, hey, this is here. Do you want to connect to your fans? And George Perez says, yes, I have fans. I'll stop. I'll do a show.
Exactly, yeah.
And, like, something came up. He's like, hey, I can't do that weekend. I'm going to come the next weekend. Shit. Okay. He cares.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to connect to his fans. So, dude, if that means we got to hustle and find a venue for him, all right, we'll do that.
And we got it.
We got it. It's at the Crest.
Yep.
July 30th.
The infamous Crest.
There we go.
But thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you, Cody Beeson.
Thank you.
Thank you for this amazing talk. We've gone on long enough. I'm going to call it quits.
That's it.
Cheers, brother.
Thank you.
Oh, did you finish your drink?
Yeah, I'm done.
Cheers. Fuck
There
it.
we go.